put it into the schools, but then we realized how many adults are in the same boat, right? The same boat where you have a lot of people that are being displaced, but then we realized how many maybe some of them just want upward mobility. The same boat kind of where you have a lot of people that are being displaced, but then we realized how many maybe some of them just want upward mobility. Because once you the same boat where you have a lot of people that are being displaced, but then we realize it goes out into the wild. Now you want upward mobility. Because once you the same boat where you have a lot of people, your idea funded and goes out to wild. How you build out your community, and that's kind of where we have this natural conduit and spokes on the wheel that introduce you to the right people to make sure that you have this idea, this little fledgling thing that has all the things that it needs to grow and to thrive. So, in a nutshell, that's what we're doing here. And I can tell you, like Cash Money Kev says, we've built SaaSes, we've built websites, we've built emulators, we've built agents, we've built all sorts of different facets and different things. And I will tell you, the things that we learn in this ecosystem are usually about 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes months ahead of the game. We are first movers in a lot of ways because, you know what, we have a digital sandbox. Nick Alisher and Ross spend a lot of time hackathoning pretty much daily in order to provide us with tools. Sometimes they cross them. We just totally crash and burn, right? We're all test dummies. But sometimes we hit the mark and it builds out something, a really powerful tool. For instance, many of you in the listening audience are familiar with The Machine. The Machine is one of the most powerful, amalgamations of AI tools and large language models. And today we have a very special guest from DigitalOcean. Many of you remember in season 3, I do believe, or maybe season 2, where we were introduced to DigitalOcean. Many of you had no idea that this company even exists. They are the powerhouse that runs a lot of the things that we do behind the scenes. And for many of you, getting introduced to this company and the kinds of tools and things that they bring to market and all of the wonderful things that they do behind the scenes for people like us. They don't do it with a lot of fanfare. They kind of make sure to, give grants and to help in many different ways. And our digital backpacks have always been very full because of the generosity and forward thinking, I should say, of DigitalOcean. They've invested in many of us, and because of their tools, um, have literally changed their stars. New businesses have been formed in this ecosystem. We have a person that created an entire magazine, real magazine, not a digital one, a real one in your mailbox. The partnerships between classmates here behind the scenes in the Slack channel, learning new skills that they may not have had before, learning how to manage, collaborations, because as we say, collaborations are the next currency. So there's lots of things. And for those of you that are in the audience today that don't know us, right? We want to invite you to be a part of the Slack channel because you have to be present to win, folks. You get a digital backpack tonight, but if you don't show up every class, guess what? We reallocate those resources to the people that do show up because like we were talking about last season, our students had access to a 30,000 GPU, $30,000. It certainly levels the playing field to have that kind of compute in your corner pocket to build out incredible systems and leverage that kind of power. But if you didn't show up, then we had to reallocate it to the people that did. And the projects that we had at the end of our semester or end of our season were just so inspirational. I mean, I don't know if Masha's here today. Her project, man, it was so cool to watch. And there's something very special about being in the company of people that are building. It spurs us on forward. There's something contagious about building in public, but building with people who have a genuine want and desire to change the world in a good way and be profitable at the same time. Profits are not a bad word. We want you to be crazy successful. And because we also know that when you are crazy successful, you remember where you came from and you pay it forward. And I've never met more generous and beautiful souls over the course of these 9 sessions or seasons, I should say. Just really special people. So look to your left and your right, introduce yourself. Don't be awful. And the reason we can't have nice things, be nice in the DMs. Make sure that you're being additive rather than just extractive. If you can help someone, you'll know that it'll be paid forward, because here everybody helps everybody else. To teach is definitely to learn twice. So welcome to all of our new students, and to our familiar faces. I'm giving you a giant tackle hug. I can tell you this season is going to be rough. It's not going to be easy, but it is going to be so satisfying when you get done, folks. You're going to have something really incredible, and you will be proud of it, because you know what? If you have to work really hard for it, it just tastes sweeter. It does. It does. It does. So I hope that I've answered Ross's question and given him enough leeway. If you
You
usually hear me
did.
spitballing, it's
It's so
usually because
good.
he needs some time. But
No,
yes,
no, I didn't need time per se. There's people here that I've never met, so I wanted to give a quick, like, what we're doing here. Also, I would like to introduce you guys to our friend Martin. Martin is from DigitalOcean, and because of Martin and his team and DigitalOcean, we're able to do like the craziest things with you guys and put on these amazing idea to impacts and help in schools with students, giving them cPanels, letting them use hosting services and building at the middle school and high school level. And
I
thank
had to
you.
do it. So sorry.
And it's because of the last like 5-6 years of partnership with us and DigitalOcean, we were able to pull this off. I remember a few years ago, Alisher and I spoke at DigitalOcean's Deploy conference and explained what we wanted to do. And it's crazy because Martin's now seeing it happening live. This is everything that we've been building up towards. And by doing this, it helps all of you guys learn how to level up your own businesses and ideas. And Martin's going to talk to you a little bit about a program at DigitalOcean that all of you guys potentially would have access to. But of course, it's not us, it's them. So there's a way to apply, and we're going to give you guys links and stuff. But I definitely wanted to introduce Martin and have him talk about the cool, amazing Hatch program at DigitalOcean and how you guys could actually apply to it, potentially get accepted, and get amazing benefits. So without further ado, hello, Martin.
Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. And thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Ross, for such a kind and sweet introduction. Like, I've been working with Ross for quite a while now. So it's a real pleasure to be here to talk to you guys about DigitalOcean and the Hatch program and what we do. So, if you guys have never heard of DigitalOcean, DigitalOcean is a cloud infrastructure platform that helps developers and startups build, deploy, and scale their apps quickly and really cost effectively. So we have a very simple UI, powerful API, and really predictable pricing to make it really easy to go from idea to production without the complexities of other hyperscalers like AWS or GCP. So whether you're launching your first ever app or scaling a SaaS business, DigitalOcean gives you the tools to move fast and focus on what matters, which is for all of us building, right? And Hatch is DigitalOcean's global startup program, which is designed to help early stage founders build and scale their products with less friction. That's the team I work on. I also help with the nonprofits program, which is where How I Know Ross, which has been amazing. We offer DigitalOcean Cloud credits, discounts for NVIDIA H100 GPU droplets to support, anything you're building for AI, technical support, third-party perks, and um, mentorship, plus great exposure to our network of investors, accelerators, and partners. So if you're launching your MVP or scaling a SaaS product, I invite you to join Hatch. So you can access infrastructure, credits, resources, and a community to help you grow and scale really efficiently. And if you guys want to apply, go to digitalocean.com/hatch. And there's an apply button on top. You might be asked a few questions like partner. If you don't have a partner, always you can just press other and we will review your application shortly. And I'm open for a few questions right now. And if, we run out of time, then always feel free to DM me. No problem.
Yeah, that's awesome, Martin. I want to clarify two things for people. One, we will post the link in a minute. My phone's being weird for the Hatch program. It is in the live stream right now. Additionally, Martin is the guy who actually is the Hatch program person and his team. So when you guys do apply, he will be reviewing you guys. And when you get to a point where it's like asking you questions about like how you heard of it, and when you select like other, Martin will know that it's from Ideas to Impact, and they will know because you're going to tell them, and it will help your visibility on your application should you actually decide to apply. And also, Martin, your team collaboration with us has been invaluable. Just so you know, I tell you all the time, though it's not news, but it's important that you get retold all the time because it's true.
No, I really appreciate the love that you guys have always like shown us. And we always want to help, growing businesses and nonprofits build and scale in the cloud. Like I know things can get really expensive and we're here to help you guys out while we can. So yeah, feel free to take the opportunity. And if of course you have any questions, please DM me. I'm happy to talk to you guys and learn about what you're building.
Martin, I was going to ask you a question. Out of all of the program, you have Hatch in general. There's only two ways out of an egg. You got to hatch or someone forces you out, right? What are some of the projects that have really struck your fancy, like over the course of, just seeing things come across your desk at DigitalOcean? What kind of things inspire you, and what kind of projects or unexpected uses for all of the things that DigitalOcean offer have just like struck you, where you sit back in your desk and go, this is why I'm here?
Well, honestly, like what gives me the most joy is when I get an email from a founder and they're like, these credits have really changed my business and my life. Like financially, it's really hard to keep all of this up. And like just being able to help founders like you guys is honestly the best part of it all. Um, but I think things that folks are building that have been really great is, well, one, we have a couple of great alumni under our belt. So QuickNote is one that's really great. We have GitLab, Hack the Box, some pretty great companies. Ivan is a really big one that you guys might be familiar with. Those are the things that really drive and push us to expand the program and to offer better things. We've had a lot of new innovations in AI recently. So a lot of startups have been taking advantage of our GPU droplets and building great things. One that comes to mind is XHuman, exh.ai, if you guys are curious. I also wrote a blog post about them if you guys want to read it. Um, they're building some really amazing stuff for like building AI for IP, which is really, really interesting. But there's so many things, but the best part is really just being able to give back and help people grow on our dime.
I think that's so
Um,
cool. Go ahead,
I,
Ross.
I just want to highlight one thing for you guys that is something that's, I guess, Martin didn't say because maybe for him it doesn't seem as important as the other stuff. But for us as a customer, Martin, things change in companies all the time, year after year. And do you know, like DigitalOcean and the streamline between us and you guys, and who's the point person? That's never changed, no matter what's going on at DigitalOcean. So cool. The customer support is wild, people. So if you want like a cloud company that actually answers and helps you, like this is the one. And the other thing, Martin, that I'm doing personally through with my mouth and voice during these sessions is like people don't know about DigitalOcean, and it's frustrating because it's really great platform. And the reliable pricing is such a crazy thing that nobody understands until you need it. Until you like Google Cloud is charging you $500 and then you switch to Dio and it's like 50. It's crazy. So all you entrepreneurs right now, definitely take a look at this. This is huge. This is a real opportunity, and you lose nothing by taking it.
Thank you, Ross.
You must be present to win. You can't get the prize unless you put your name in the hat.
And at this point, Sarah will allow people up for one question at a time to Martin, me, or Cash Money Kev, or Alisher, or the conglomerate, but one at a time, one question, so that we can maximize time.
Excellent. I can do that. The first person that their hands up was Sharon. Highly recommend Sharon. Meet Martin. Martin, meet Sharon. Sharon, you should interview Martin for your magazine, What the LLM. I would
Ooh, good
definitely
idea.
read that. I would so read that. Martin, I would so read that. Sharon is one of those people that I just enjoy so much. Sharon, what is your question, my love?
I already shot him a follow, and thanks so much, Sarah, for that nudge, because I would love to interview him. Martin, I just wanted to say that I have my WordPress site on DigitalOcean, and I just wanted to say it was super seamless. It's super cheap. I think I have the $12 membership or subscription that you can even do $6. I just want to say Alisher brought me to this idea and showed me DigitalOcean, and I'm just so thankful that I learned about it because there's so many awesome things on it. That's all I wanted to say, and thank you guys for this opportunity. It's awesome.
Oh, no, of course. We also have a WordPress integration to make things even easier if you're not using it already on our marketplace, a droplet one click, just to make things really easy if you're looking to host a WordPress website on DigitalOcean. So thank you for the love. We really loved hearing that, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love that so much. For those that are in the listening audience, our season 2, I do believe, is when we built out everything with DigitalOcean, and it's so streamlined and just effortless, no friction. All right, so Smoke had their hand up first, so we'll go to Epic, then we're going to go to User Mouse, then we'll go to Morgan, and then John, AI John. So go ahead, Epic, ask your question, love.
Mic check real quick. Am I doing
Absolutely,
good?
can hear you.
Uh,
100%.
hey Martin.
So,
Hey Martin. Nice to meet you. I was trying to sign up to the Hatch thing, and it says a corporate email. It won't accept the email.
Yeah, so you would have to have a corporate address. So what that means is if your startup is called martin.com, then you just have to have an @martin.com email address. So this is just done for security purposes, just to make sure that folks are affiliated with the company that they say they are. That's it.
And also, anyone who is applying and hits that issue, we're actually going to cover that in this season. So we'll help you get the right email associated so you can apply properly to the Hatch program. So don't worry about that if that's you.
Okay, that's what I was kind of asking because I don't have a corporate address right now.
We're going to
Not
help
that I
you
know
with
of.
that. We're going to show you how to do that, and we'll get you set up with your domain and an email that you could use.
10-4. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on up, Epic. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to go to, well, I guess it's over at you again. I always ruin your handle, my friend User. I'm just going to say User. Is that okay, User Mod?
That's fine. You guys can call me Jacques if you know me anyhow. Glad to be here, by the way. Thanks for opening up the space and hosting it because I've been on fire myself about trying to lead the way with a brighter path for others that are just a little confused. And you guys have been doing a great job of it. I'm always going to tell you that because you always do. I did have a question. I happened to jump in here. I've known about DigitalOcean for years now. Their hosting service. I'm not quite sure what the changes have happened so far in the data center, which was like what I was going to ask some questions about. If you guys, because you do hosting services and you have the capabilities that you do, have you been heavily concentrating on AI training and AI inference? I'm just wondering, as far as the hardware goes.
Yeah, that's sort of
Good.
what our biggest recent investment has been. So
Good.
we have a lot of GPUs available. We just recently launched, if you're familiar with our hosting product, The Droplet, we have one that's
Yep.
now powered by GPUs. So we have them from like NVIDIA H100s, L40S, some from AMD as well. So that's a really big push that we have been,
Good.
going for recently. And also we have a product called Gen AI Platform, which you can use if you're familiar with Bedrock at all. It's like our version of Bedrock, where we have a bunch of great models that you can use to build an agent. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, cool. I can't really talk about some stuff openly here right now, but there are some wafer technologies for GPU that can be used for mass AI training. We know NVIDIA's got the market beat for the inference side, absolutely hands down, but they're teeter-tottering right now. There are a couple up-and-comers, one of which I'd like to be working with very badly within the next couple of months, which I'm trying to do. A little bit of a hardware project at a data center. I'll leave it at that, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody is actually facing the right direction. So this is awesome. Thank you, by the way. That's it.
Well,
I'm gonna listen, and if I have any questions, I'll definitely raise my hand.
thank you so much. I might shuffle the top deck a little bit, so don't anybody take offense to it. And also, many of you, we do realize that you're on laptop or do not have your mic. You can always add your question to the purple bubble and attach it to the space, and I will monitor it behind the scenes, and we will make sure that your questions get answered. All
Yeah,
right,
and
Morgan. Oh, go
if
ahead.
any question in the purple pills directed towards Martin, I'll be sure to send that to him after the fact. So no worries there.
Excellent. We are tag teaming in true fashion. Morgan, your hands up, love. We're going to go to you and then AI John and then crypto. I'll go right to you, or arts. I'll go right after AI John. Okay. So go ahead, Morgan.
Hey, Martin, nice to meet you. I'm one of those people who has a startup and am a little all over the place. So my question to you is that I know DigitalOcean, well, DigitalOcean has done a great amount of things for us here. But I still would like to know like what exactly that someone like me could use you for what I'm building, which is really a networking platform. Is the best place to learn about you guys and what you're doing just on the website? Because I know sometimes people, the websites can be a little, when it comes to AI, it's a little all over the place. And it's like to learn exactly what it is that you have to offer to people. Do you guys should it be like YouTube where you're explaining, or just your website or white papers, or like what's the best way for me to find out how I could use you perfectly? Let's just say.
Yeah. No, thanks for the question. So we are like a cloud infrastructure company. So we host a bunch of products on our suite. But the best place is probably to look on our website. We also have a ton of tutorials, which is kind of how we came to be. We have a bunch of great community tutorials on how to use our products. They're quite tech agnostic as well, so you don't even have to be using DigitalOcean to have use out of them. But just review our website, the products, and all that good stuff. You can basically build any web application on DigitalOcean. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you so much for everything that you've done for us over here. With all our classes at TSI, you guys, last season was amazing. Thank you so much for doing that for us. And I hope you take that interview with Sharon. Her magazine's phenomenal. So
Thank you.
Oh, I think this is so cool. One question from behind the scenes. Does the Hatch program have a deadline?
No, so we actually just do rolling admissions. You can apply whenever you're ready to take advantage of it. Don't feel pressure to do it now. We would love for you to have like a completed website or an MVP or something like that, just ready for us to review. But whenever you're ready, feel free to apply. It's not like it's in cohorts, it's rolling admissions. So don't worry about that. Take your time with
And
it.
Sarah, the cool part is like at the end of season 9, they'll have what they need potentially to submit to the Hatch program should they want to.
I think that's so cool. I am so giddy. I'm clapping like a little baby seal. All right. So We have AI John next. He's got a question for you, Martin. Thank you again for answering all of our questions. This is so cool. And I think just for the sake of everybody in the audience, when you get to have a face to the name, and also it's not just a corporation some out, out there in the digital overlay, and you have that connection, it's very special because now you know that there's actually someone there. And I just appreciate your time beyond words. So go ahead, AI John.
Thank you so much, Sharon, and thank you, Martin. And the Tech in Schools program is so amazing, helping public school kids and helping all of us. Ross and Sharon and Cash and everybody are just bringing so much value to so many people. Alisher, it's really amazing. So just want to thank you for helping make that happen. I just have a question. I was working with Josh Hellman from the Innovators Think Tank, and I created a project that's moving along. And because of Alisher and Chris, a jack of all trades, we've got a site. And so it's not completed. I noticed I have a Hatch partner. Would Tech in Schools be that Hatch partner?
Currently, Tech in Schools is not a partner, so feel free to just select other.
Yeah, so if you select
you
other, because we're partnered with them differently, the Hatch program is more like accelerators. So like there's an other option. If you choose other and then you put like your info, you mention ideas to impact, Tech in Schools, it'll get to Martin and he'll see it. So just
Thank you
Yes.
so
other.
much.
Choose other, and then
Thank
maybe
you,
if there's a
Ross.
how do you hear about us? And you're welcome, Martin. You could put Tech in Schools, idea to impact. Martin will see it. And if there's any confusion and you sent it and you're like, I never got reviewed, you can just let us know and we'll reach out to Martin and we got you guys.
Cool. And just it wouldn't be available. What I did wouldn't be happen without Tech in Schools, Ross, and everybody associated with the whole team. So I just want to thank everyone. Thank you.
It has been so much fun to watch everybody build their stuff. The projects, especially in the final projects, are just fun. And I will tell you, having all of the folks building things out. Sharon, when her magazine finally arrived in my mailbox, my physical mailbox, I did a freaking happy dance. It was like, this is one of us, knocking the ball out of the park. It was just so cool. Arts, I see that you're up here. You don't come up very often to sit and chit chat. What is your question, my love?
Hello, lovely people, and hello, Martin. I've come to ask one question. And first of all, thanks for bringing the price down. And what Ross said is so important. I'm an artist, and any price reduction is so important for us to actually get onto your platform. It makes a big difference, and it will do worldwide. My one question is, can I get the boys to give you a call and talk about our new data centers that are 10 times less electricity on your GPUs, 10 times faster, and they save you up to 10 times on your electricity bill, guys. So that's the new one.
I would say
And
if you have info on that, put it in the purple pill.
yeah, I'll contact you, Martin. Is that okay? I'll get the boys to contact you from America. And where are you based, Martin, before we go?
I'm in New York City.
Beautiful. You have a great day, my young man. Enjoy the journey, and we're all going to have a good fun and make lots of cool stuff for everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Before we go into the actual class, I just wanted to thank you, Martin, for coming. If anyone has any questions from Martin, you can give him a follow and reach out to him on Twitter, or you can sign up to the Hatch program and you'll be connected with him anyways. I just want to reiterate two things. One, if you're signing up and you're looking for TSI on the website, you're going to hit other because we're not an accelerator yet. Yeah, no, we're not. But there are accelerators, like big ones that you can be a part of. And if you are, should select that. I don't know the full list of partners for DigitalOcean right now, but feel free to select it if you are affiliated. If not, just choose other. And if there's a place to write anything, you could put like Tech in Schools, Idea to Impact, and Martin will be in touch. They're not known to like not answer, so I wouldn't worry about that. And two, Martin, thank you again. I know it's just like credits and like financials, but what it does for us is it allows us to go to classrooms, have massive events, showcase what we're doing, changing the world in education. And we're super excited that the next event, I already spoke to the Department of Education. We are getting you a ticket to come in New York City at the Hilton on 42nd Street. It's going to be fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I really had a blast talking to everyone about DigitalOcean and Hatch and like answering your questions. And it's been really great. Thank you so much, Ross. Appreciate
Martin,
it.
before you go, one last question. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you had just written an article, and I am struggling finding the link. Is there any way that you could post it on your Twitter feed so that I can repost it and put it in the nest and then in the purple bubble so that our students can read your handiwork and continue to follow because those are really important. We make sure that they all keep their analog, journals and their Notion docs and Obsidian, this, that, and the other thing. And this is one of those things that needs to go into one of those tabs so that they can look at it and definitely mull through it, just like with the white papers and the things like that they collect and hunt and gather out in the wild. So if you could give me that link, I would greatly appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your time, your energy, your beautiful spirit, and the continual generosity, both here on the platform and off the platform. You are a treasure of a human, and your deeds may not be known by lots of folks, but I can tell you, having had those 3 a.m. phone calls with the boys at Tech and Schools, your gifts, when they come through, are just life-changing for them because they are now realizing their passion project, and it is people like you coming out of the woodwork to make that happen, not just for them but for all of the young makers who never had a seat at the table who do now and have the ability to build really great things and see their ideas come out into impact. I just want to say thank you, Martin. It's been a pleasure to meet you, but you are a treasure of a human, and I hope that you are continued success surrounded by light, love, and absolute prosperity. We want you to stay in business forever and ever. Amen. So if you ever need help, hit us all up. We will pay it forward because that is what we do around here. You go on to greatness, my friend.
Also,
thank you
Martin,
so
before you
much.
leave, two things. One, this whole idea to impact would not be possible without our partnership with DigitalOcean, your education team, and the Hatch team that you're a part of. We spoke to so many teams at DigitalOcean. It's so crazy to make this happen. And I've began doing our metrics because I have to do our yearly metrics. And do you know we gave cPanels out to over 1,000 students? That's pretty crazy.
Amazing.
And it's only growing, Martin. So thank you so much for making all of us at Tech and School our dream come true in building something that's way bigger than what we are. And thank you so much for powering Ideas to Impact. It's just I say this very few times, but always when I talk with you guys, I'm wordless because you guys make it happen, man. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And now we are going to start Ideas to Impact in like 2 minutes. Sarah's going to do her normal intro where you should get a cup of coffee and a laptop and put on a hat and put on a dress and sit down.
The
Live
hat and
stream will
dress
be
are
kicking on in a minute.
That's
And
right.
I hope maybe Martin could come back towards the end and see what you guys built if he had some time. And that's what you're going to be using to apply to the Hatch program because you can't apply with nothing. You got to apply with something.
I'll be
The
there.
other thing too is, folks, okay, so now we're getting down to business. Everybody's in business mode, right? We do have a lot of young makers that are in the audience in anonymous mode. So please keep your language appropriate. Use all of your colorful words at the computer screen, but not in space. It's very difficult to go ahead and edit that. Make sure you have your computers out. Like we have mentioned before, definitely have your engineering notebooks of some sort, a way to capture details, capture your definitions. There are a lot of definitions that you might have heard of during the course of our guest speaker, Martin. Maybe some of you don't know what a GPU is. Maybe some of you don't know what an H100 is. These are the kinds of things that you add to your growing list of vocabulary words because you need to have fluidity in all of the language that is going to be required, all of these facets to make your business go. Now, if you want to get a beverage of choice, here in Michigan. It is going to be ice because we're still under those heat index, although we do have a reprieve today from the 100 yesterday. We're now in the balmy 80s. So make sure you get your beverage of choice. Definitely don't keep it near the computer. Make sure you have any passwords or logins. For students that are new, we need to get you into the Slack channel. Slack channel is how all of us connect with one another, but also how we learn how to do some of the soft skills. For instance, managing a team. Many folks here have never had to manage a team, and Slack happens to be one of those things that if you become fluided in, you're able to, have some private conversations behind the scenes, make some partnerships, actually have one-on-ones. I know a lot of you have had private sessions amongst each other, going over things that we've learned. One of the things that we do tell all of our students, and I say it every season, so I'm sounding like the grandma that has the stories that are the same over and over again. All right. Um, to teach is to learn twice, but also to revisit the material is to really ingrain muscle memory, right? One of the things with these kinds of things is that you actually have to use it. You have to break open the box and void the warranties, in order to get the most out of class, right? So, whatever we're learning today, if you're frustrated, something doesn't click, um, you know, use and abuse the purple bubble. We will do our best to monitor them. If you have questions, comments, or concerns behind the channel, the back channels, if you're already a student, you know the roles and you know kind of the way that we do things. So you will have a new tab for this new season in the Slack channel. So if you're a previous student, maybe you skipped a couple seasons, right? You're going to sneak in the back way and say, hey, by the way, I'm back. I'm going to set up my new channel again, and this is going to be great. We want to make sure that you have all the information that you're going to need. Now, we are building money-making microservices. Microservice has a lot of interesting definitions and nomenclature. This is something that you're going to lean heavily into, and it is something that is, after you get done with this season, you are going to have something viable, right? And you are going to be able to apply, let's say, to Hatch. You're going to be able to take the next step. And we're hoping that you actually do that. That means that you have to show up and you have to do your homework and you have to put in the time. There are a lot of people that have donated their time, energy, resources, poured their lives into these kinds of classes to make sure, behind the scenes, that you have everything that you need at your fingertips to be successful. If for some reason you don't, maybe you're missing some technology, maybe, things aren't working the way that you need them to, maybe you only have a phone, make sure you touch base with some of us so that we can kind of find different avenues for you to learn the material, because we're living in a day and an age where we can kind of MacGyver some really incredible solutions. They might not be perfect, but they definitely can MacGyver some interesting solutions. I do strongly recommend that if you do not have My AI Tutor, it's in the suite of tools of Tech in Schools. You are choosing to go on expert mode, right? It's not saying that you have to have their tools. It's just the cheapest option, first and foremost, and you get all of the bells and whistles and all of the models that are out in the wild. And so it definitely puts you at an advantage. It's not saying that you have to, right? If you aren't a subscriber, make sure you use ITT, Innovators Think Tank, as your code, your discount code. That's going to get you some dinero off, which is always helpful. You can reallocate those and pay it forward to someone else if you need to. Innovators Think Tank is another thing that you have to write on your pad of interesting things that you need to know. Innovators Think Tank has their show on Saturday. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They have a wonderful website, beautiful souls, beautiful people, and they also have the opportunity to pitch your ideas, which is something very important, because once you've built something, you need to pitch it, you need to practice, and you need to have friendlies in the room, right, that are going to give you the good critique that you need and help give you all of the tools that you need to do the best presentation. We're not going to let you go out in public with toilet paper on your shoe, or, you know, your pantyhose or your shirt stuck in your pantyhose. We're not going to let you do that either. Right. So without any further kind of issues, comments, concerns, etc. If you are new here, you know, and you just want to listen on podcast mode tonight, I will tell you that's not the way to do it. You can't learn this stuff by proxy. You got to actually, like I said, open the box. But we understand that some of you are still trying to figure out the lay of the land and you might not want to jump in full feet. That's okay. I can tell you Thursday morning, you're going to show up and do it every Thursday at 11 Eastern Standard Time. So by the time we close out, it's about 13 hours later for all of our friends that live on, you know, in the future across the pond. We condensed everything down this evening, except for our guest speaker. That's just for the folks that showed up. But we condensed everything down to about an hour, hour and a half, and you will be able to revisit the material, go through it. So if tonight is just too much for you, or you're tired, or, you know, your brain has hit maximum saturation, that's okay. You're invited to come for the post-mortem and the recap on Thursday. There are some people that choose just to do that. They like the executive mode. They like the one and done, get her done, got her did, without all the fluff. And it's very fast. So it depends on your, you know, skill set and your understanding of the material. It depends. You get to choose your own adventure, folks. This is one of the cool things about hacking your own education, is that you get to call the shots. You get to figure out how to, you know, absorb the information. And you know what? It's your adventure. You get to claim it, name it, and make it your journey. So if something is not sticking with you, definitely ask questions. But we also encourage all of our students to have their AI of choice open, and that we lean into our AI. I know that a lot of people are afraid of AI. I know a lot of people are anxious about AI taking your job. Um, we are here to give you a familiarity with a very powerful tool that can augment your skills and amplify your ideas, your skill set, and amplify your productivity, all sorts of things. And we're hoping that you will feel comfortable with that. Some people feel that it's cheating. It's not. It's not cheating. It's actually using what's on hand and creating the ecosystem that you need to be successful. So hopefully I have cleared up every, you know, kind of comment or question. There are lots of people in the audience that you should connect with, very wonderful people. I can tell you with some authority that I think I know almost everybody in the space tonight. And that has come because I've shown up every single season. If you show up, you're going to meet some great people. And these people are going to be your pocket family. They are going to be your biggest advocates. They are going to be your cohorts, your alibis. They're going to be all sorts of stuff in the middle of the night. Your vibe coders, your 1-800-JUSTIFY. Definitely, if you're wanting to hunt and gather and buy something new, a new computer or whatever, these people will be on your side whispering in your ear that, yes, you do. You should have that. You need those kinds of people in your business. But I am going to hand the mic off to Ross. We are going to start our adventure. So if you need anything, obviously you can tap the little glass and we will do our best to make sure that your journey is a good one, because I will tell you, we say this all the time. Cash Money and Kev and I talk behind the scenes throughout class, actually. He's just this very wonderful, wonderful person. We always say, well, this is my favorite class, or this is my favorite class. This one, I think, has the potential to do some real awesome things. And I'm not going to say it's my favorite one yet, but it's definitely one that I'm excited about. And opening it up with a really special guest like Martin is something that I think is just really cool. And it's because we have some really cool people in this room that have made an impact in the world and are indeed paying it forward by bringing their friends to the table so that we all can expand our palate, make the banquet in front of us expand, and all of us get to leave well fed I think that's really cool when people bring a dish to pass and it's someone like Martin and his experience. He's a really good man. All right. So, Ross, you ready?
Oh, I'm more than ready. Also, quick thing. Anyone, and the last time I'm saying this, so if you're going to apply to the Hatch program, there are different levels of partnership that you can have with DigitalOcean. We have a different one through education, right? And their DO for Good program. So we're not an accelerator, and that's why you don't see us. But just know we're directly, partner with them and have great communication with that team. So if you guys put other and you mention tech in schools, it will elevate your application, at least to Martin's desk, guaranteed. So that's like huge because the whole world applies for this. And by you guys applying and putting other and writing like how you heard about us, and then you write like tech in schools, Idea to Impact, you're getting a direct VIP highway to his desk. I mean, if you're not applying, like what are you even doing? And we're going to explain how to get the things you need to apply. But everyone here, you should be applying because you could get an enormous amount of compute that you can utilize. And you do not know what will come from that. And there's no repayment, right? And that's the coolest part. Just, it's a gift. And it's to help you hatch. That's why it's called the Hatch program. We actually started in the Hatch program and then went outside the Hatch program to partner with them on a different level as like one of their partners for education. But that we started there. So it's a great program. Highly recommend. Second thing, Sharon, wake up. Because you have to define what is a microservice for the people. And I know you've been like learning. So what have you figured out? What is a microservice and how does it differ from like AI Tutor, a full-fledged SaaS?
Oh my gosh, thank you. A microservice, yeah, the word already says it. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain this. It's just like it's one specific thing that is small. It's not a full business.
So give some examples, like so people can understand the difference between this and like AI Tutor, which is like a full-fledged SaaS.
Well, imagine you have a little newsletter service, for example, right? That would be a good example, I guess. And the beauty is, well, yeah, that would be one idea. Is that good or no?
Yeah, what else? Give them some ideas so they understand, because I don't think people actually know the difference or don't even know what a microservice is or a microservice. They think that everything has to be just a SaaS. That's super complicated. And I feel like over the last 6 months, you've capitalized on this idea of not building these giant multi-planetary services. And you're building these like one-off services. And I want you to give some like clarity to people and like how powerful a payment link could be when put in the right place.
Well, I have probably now, I don't know, probably 6, 7 different microservices that I offer. And one would be helping people with content management, content creation would be one microservice. Then these little, what do you call them? Not landing pages, but these little, I have this profile that I built for myself. It's like your own link tree that you own. That is a microservice that I offer. Then I have a couple of them. I can take a person's digital presence apart and give them insight into data. I can explain the data, right, in words, not just in graphs, but in words. And that's also a microservice. Oh my gosh. What else am I doing? I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I got to think about it for a second, but those are some.
Think about how it differs from like AI Tutor. Not so now you've defined things like what it is and examples, but how is it different than AI Tutor?
Well, I don't need to build a SaaS. I don't have to have any functional thing for someone to click on. I do that work for them basically.
So I have a question, and this is going to help everyone because you've said this to me a bunch of times, but it's like kind of funny because no one really thinks about it like this. But your twisted brain did, and it helped, I think, make connections for you. So you told me a while ago, you were like, oh, like we made a CRM before, right? But now I don't need it, right? Why? What are you using instead right now to manage your people?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. The
What do you
machine. I
use?
don't.
No, what do you use? Like right now, you need to go to a customer and, upgrade his plan or issue a refund or do all like, where are you doing this?
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I'm using Stripe.
So
I'm using
What is
that's my
Stripe for you
CRM.
besides payment processing? What is it doing for you besides money?
It's allowing me to manage my microservices, all my products, right? And it's also allowing me to manage all my customers or past, people that bought from me. So, yeah, I can follow up with people. I have their email. I have everything in Stripe, and that's basically my CRM.
Ross, to jump in real quick. For
Sure.
those of you that have never, maybe you need a legacy kind of example. If you create content back in the day, you would have to create content and then you would think of 7 other ways to use that same content. If you all have tech in schools, you have My AI Tutor, you have all of these things. How it differs is that you are reimagining or repackaging little increments, little pieces. So if you have a piece of content that has, 1,500 words, then you have a video, then you have audio, then you have whatever. You are reimagining it into, well, here's a meme. I'm going to generate a meme out of this content, or I'm going to generate a soundbite out of this content. You're taking all of these little pieces, and because they're all under one giant umbrella, you're using the same payment system in place, and you're having multiple conduits. And this is what happens when you can maximize your efforts. You are using the mechanical advantage and creating microservices, micro little tiny tidbits that aren't the whole big chunk, but just enough. And you're going to have it for very specific niche or micro audiences, right? And that is one of the things that when you're thinking about things that you want to build, you don't need to know how to build the clock. You just need to know how to tell the time, or, disseminate that little nugget to somebody to solve a micro problem. It could be, a calculator that converts, things instantly, or, where you don't have to open all of your apps, or you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. It's the equivalent of just clicking on a button and having your flashlight on your phone, as opposed to looking for a flashlight around the house. You just have it for that one specific need. And Sharon has made it's almost a gamification, a game of how many things you can create. And when they have these hackathon type sessions, these 11-hour sessions on a Saturday night, you have the cross pollination of ideas. People come up with an idea and say, I bet you I could build that in Python. And then instantly it exists in the world. Is it there to solve all the world's problems? No, it's not. It's there to solve one specific problem. And I'll leave you with this. When I was a broker for Morgan Stanley, I was a broker. They had to come to me to make all of these transactions. When Charlie Schwab came in and we had the ability to automate the trade, it was all wealth was made in pennies, in fractions of pennies, as opposed to big, big trades, right? Your wealth now in the age of AI is not going to be the unicorn, giant corporation. It's going to be measured and added and compounded in these fractionalized micro services that are bringing in all of these funnels of money into your ecosystem, and then pooling the resources and reallocating them and investing them as you see fit. But that is what we're doing in many cases, is think about the little, think about the small, and think about how one grain of rice compounded daily over the course of those 30 days is going to make you a very wealthy person, right? It's that parable that we all should be reading for this class. Alisher, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think a micro SaaS, you want to think about this as like that niche, right? When we talked about niches and creating a product to satisfy a specific niche, find something in your life that you find extremely annoying that you want to automate with a product, that you want to automate with some sort of little piece of software. Um, and that's going to be your niche, right? Whether it's something like cooking and you want something reliable to create recipes and meal prep for you, that could be, one microservice that you create. Then I think another microservice that both Sharon and AI John showcased recently is taking input and then spitting out output, and you pay per use. You don't even pay a monthly. You pay every time you want to use it. So I think with Sharon, she has a really good X profile analyzer where you pay $9 and you get an analysis, an extreme in-depth analysis of your X profile and everything you need to do to sort of start building your online presence on X, right? And where to go next. So that's an amazing microservice because number one, it satisfies an extremely specific niche. You are on X and you want to grow on X, right? And then number two, it's not monthly. So this is where you have to start deciding: are you going to do monthly? Are you going to do per use? How are you going to do that? What's the pricing options there? So a great example, AI John as well. AI John has the one button where you upload a transcript and then it pretty much what does it turn into? It turns into an analysis of the transcript. Super useful. But yeah, Sharon, I saw you had your hand up. You wanted to add something?
The beauty is with these microservices, I'm just figuring out in my case, you can use these microservices also as a lead magnet. There is a bigger thing behind it, but you can already, grow a list of people that are interested in your microservices. You can analyze all of that data and then offer even more, right? So you're basically, with these microservices, they might not make you a lot of money, but like Sarah said, it's the amount, right? You can really spread wide with it because almost everybody can afford a $9 little thing and they get a lot of value with it. Through that, I can learn about the people that are interested in these microservices, and then I use that data to build something bigger along the way. So that's basically how I do that.
Hey, John, go ahead.
Just sorry, real quick, Sarah. I just want to jump in and if anybody's heard of WinRAR, or you guys have maybe seen it or downloaded it, to unzip your zip files. That's a microservice. It's actually free, but you could buy the full program and support the developers that made it. But it's just a very niche online tool that is simple, and I'm sure the developers have made a killing off of WinRAR. You could also go on the route of I'm assuming a converter, maybe from MP3 to MP4, for example, just to put a simple, or maybe you guys have heard of WinRAR examples out there for you guys. But yeah, sorry for jumping in front of you, John. I see the hands up. Go to you, and then Sharon put hers up as well.
Thank you. Just the one button that turns the original idea is you just press a button, you speak into it, and then it turns it into content, like SEO optimized content. That's where we're going to go with it. I just applied for the Hatch program. And the other thing with what Sharon said, so I'm a host at the community, the AI Biz Hour. And so I'm looking at building micro products specifically for the community that are going to help them with things that we realize are needed, business prompts, whatever. And yeah, just sell it for next to nothing, $1 a shot or whatever, $3. But that is the way to begin the engagement with the community. And it's a way to begin a conversation with people that you hope to over deliver for the lifetime of that conversation. And that can bring in a lifetime value that is much bigger than that one exchange. So thank you.
Also, John, one cool thing. Do you know the number one reason why I chose to do something like this and not like make a SaaS?
No, I do not.
So the reason is because not only is what you're saying true, that a microservice is a very easy lead in to a new group of people, a community, a way to garner trust, which is really important for a brand and a new business. But this is actually going to give you, which you all need, you included, John, which is the baby steps to a bigger infrastructure SaaS. You have to fully understand the complexities of a micro SaaS before you can even think about some like multi-system, multi-level SaaS, because you have to understand it. So I'm basically forcing everyone to take the proper baby steps so that when you want to do that next thing, things are going to feel familiar, not foreign.
Thank you, Ross. You're a genius and you're really wild.
And another thing is, it doesn't have to be an AI microservice. It could be something you actually do, right? So a good example is Sharon actually does like the research and the reporting whenever you get one of those X profile reports from her. So that's a manual piece of labor and writing that she actually does for you. So it doesn't have to be something automated. This could just lead to your service, whether it's education, classes, mentoring, whatever it is that you do. This piece of microservice can just lead into what you're actually doing.
In many ways, it's a glorified calling card, folks, right? So that is one of the things that we're trying to do, is give you a little bit of bump. Go ahead, Sharon.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I just realized we have another microservice. So, Alish and I have been building together for the past 2 years, and we have a lot of code. So what I'm doing, what he is doing too, little starter kits, components. So I design with AI nice components that people can add to their product, their SaaS. The one that I just built is an audio visualizer. I built this project a while back, and now I just reimagined it with a little add-on. So this is a little component that people can just plug and play, use as a standalone thing, or add to their SaaS that they're building. That's also a little microservice that I'm offering.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Sharon, because like for us, we don't, like, even though people don't think about it as a microservice, it really, really is. Like, people write code all the time. Some code makes it to production. Some code's so awesome, but then you realize you don't need it. But what you don't need, someone else will pay for when it's good production level code. And for example, using Alisher as an example, if Alisher was to go and put out like a starter SaaS kit, right? For example, for like, let's say arbitrary number, $200, let's just say $100. Like, because Alisher is behind AI Tutor, Pixio, Machine, all these things, the code that he writes is quality, obviously, because you guys use the software that we build. So people will want to buy that instead of starting fresh. So when you build these little pieces of code, they do sell and you will make money. And I know this because I've bought it before. So when I first started, I wanted to learn not how to code, but how to build the things I wanted to build. So because I already knew how to code for like PHP and JavaScript, Next.js was like new. So I came up with the idea and I pitched it to the team that I was going to just run around the internet like a crazy person and buy all the code I thought was good. And I did that. And let me tell you, it changed everything. Buying good code or paying for access to someone's repository changed the entire trajectory of what we were building and how we were building it. And this is real. And so when you think about like someone like Code with Antonio, he's making like millions, right? And there's no product. He's literally selling his repo. Just think about this for a second. So he's not saying like, oh, it's like one at a time. He's like, oh, $300 and I'll let you into my repo. And this is not just him. There's more. Alisher and Nick's favorite is, I forget his name. What's his name, Alisher?
Sunny Sungar.
Yeah, they love, Nick and Alisher love Sunny. He has like these 12-hour builds and also charges for his code. He calls it the Papa Fam, and you could pay $600 to join the Papa Fam. And you know what's crazy? It's not like Code with Antonio where it's like every month. He does it one time. So you join the Papa Fam one time, you're in for life. It's a crazy idea. Think about it, guys. How many people would pay one time for something that changes every month? Like Alisher logs in all the time. Papa Fam's been changing for the last 2 years, and we haven't paid him again. It was one time.
Ross, I just bought a service too, a Coder, lifetime access. I bought in because if it can save me time and I can iterate faster, why should I waste my time and build it from scratch?
And everyone here is so highly focused, Sharon, on like building things for consumers. Y'all are forgetting the coolest thing. What about devs? What about the new devs that need starter kits or frameworks or pieces of code that they won't have to build? Like, what if some developer needs something that turns audio into video? Buying Sharon's $10 code would be an ultimate win for this man because he would have the code to integrate into his product.
This is the very similar to, you know, the kids on the playground that would sell cheat codes to games so that they could, you know, finish it faster, right? This is the kind of thing that you're thinking about. How can I make someone's life really easy? And the thing is that you're not reinventing the wheel. 9 times out of 10, this is something that you have already had to do. I will give you, for instance, analog, okay? Because everybody is like, well, I'm going to make this huge complex. Nah, I built just swatch sheets. That's it. Painted swatch sheets. I had to do them anyway. That was part of my job. But then while you're building them, you have all the extra paint, you have everything out, you go ahead and build them. And you know what? That makes everybody else's life easier because they have that at their table as a resource, as something to, you know, look at. It's no different than any other template. If you have a day planner, right, and someone creates or 3D prints, you know, a ruler so that all you have to do is lay it on your sheet and then, you know, draw the little boxes. That makes their life so much easier, and it gives them the freedom to kind of zhuzh it, you know, on their own. Many of you understand dropship. Many of you understand white label, right? This is no different. You know, what was it the other day that we were all talking about, you know, Meghan Markle, you know, they just figured out that she's using, you know, Republic tea because, you know, slap a different label on it. That's what you're doing is you're creating a whole entire, you know, Sally's beauty salon with all of the wonderful stuff. And then, you know, you're packaging it up at a premium or allowing someone else to shine, right? You're the refrigerator that has all of their neat stuff on it. And you know what? If you can put your ego at the door and just say, you know what, I'm perfectly cool having a role behind the camera as opposed to being the person that's always in the front, you're going to have 20 years in terms of your, you know, longevity. You're not going to be a flash in the pan or, you know, those kinds of things. You're baking yourself into somebody else's business plan. And all of those little micro actions lead to something big, a bigger life. So, Sharon, go ahead, honey.
I just wanted to add that, you know, some of you are probably, oh gosh, these microservices, how do I showcase these microservices? That's where you can just build a site, right? I have a WordPress site that I'm about to launch that I built together with Alisher, and that's where I'm going to showcase all the services that I offer to the people. And then they can just go on there and just do their little shopping spree, right? Because if all these microservices, you know, they're cheaper, of course, and that makes it more affordable for a wide range of people, especially, you know, us, you know, the community. Not everybody has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to spend. And if you can, you know, give them that solution for a very small price, more people are going to buy, and then showcase it on a site. I mean, you can build your own sites with Lovable, or, you know, we're building it with the machine, but the more professional way would be WordPress. Super easy to set up. You can even automate certain things on that site. And I do believe that that's the way we should be thinking, because it'll save us time to do even more creative work. yeah, it's just awesome. It really helps. And what Ross said is to get a better understanding of what you're doing, the things will come nicely together, and then you'll have such an awesome idea on to, you know, when it comes to building a bigger project.
Did you just cut off, Sharon? One of the other things that is really important to kind of think about is that what she mentioned too, we've already got our websites, right? You've built those in other seasons. For those of you that are new, you might not have done that already, but you can always go back and revisit a season so that you can figure out and figure out what we're talking about. But in terms of showcasing, here's the other cool thing is that you are adding a multiplier effect. It's like you have your website, you have your whole entire catalog of microservices, but because you have an entire catalog, you also have a living and breathing transcript of your core capabilities so that you can hire out yourself for other things. You know, it's like, wow, you made all of these things. Yes, I did. I did. Well, can we hire you to make a bunch of these for us? You know, there is a multiplier effect when you build out in public, and you don't have to have everything. You can always add on to it. There will always be people that, you know, they lump themselves into three categories, you know, and I'll use a very easy way of thinking about it. You have people that will never bake in the kitchen. They do not care. They don't want to bake. They don't want to wash the dishes. They don't want to measure anything. They want to go to a high-end restaurant and buy the beautiful cupcake, right? And they are perfectly cool with paying a huge premium price for that beautiful cupcake. There are other people that will go and buy a boxed brownie kit or a boxed, you know, cupcake kit. And it has all the ingredients there, right? But they're going to go in the kitchen. They're going to spritz their face with some flour so people thought that they did it by scratch. They're going to add their own little zhuzh to it, and they're going to present it to their friends, and their friends are going to think that they just, you know, made the best cupcakes in the whole flipping planet, and it is a boxed mix. And then you have others that are like, no, they're the diehards. They're going to choose the hard way. They're going to churn their own butter. They're going to grind their own wheat. They're going to do their own flour. And they are going to say, well, emphatically, I did this from tip to toe. And I can guarantee you that whole entire cupcake probably took them 5 weeks or more because they grew the wheat themselves, right? If they're happy with that, cool. But, you know, you have to think about, you know, your time, your energy, your units of attention, and the opportunity cost. So you as a business owner, you have to figure out where category you are in. And I can tell you, if you're in that sweet spot in the middle and you are willing to box your secret sauce, you are going to make a lot of people very happy. You're going to make people who want to, you know, pretend that they did it. You're going to have the people that just want a really awesome cupcake for an event. You have maximized your usefulness to a bigger and larger audience. So tonight, when you're thinking about the money making microservices, you don't have to solve the world's problems. You just have to solve one. And which one are you super good at? What is the one thing that you know better than most of your other friends? Right. And it could be something obscure, basket weaving, underwater basket weaving, whatever it is. And you yourself are like, yeah, I have the conversion table for this kind of widget and who's it for this one machine. That could make you a mint. You know, you never know how the one thing could help solve problems for lots of people in a very niche area. You could be someone who has a huge passion for, I don't know, lately I like to pay attention to satellites. I want to know where they are. I want to know where the space junk is. You know what? You can create an aggregator and you can, you know, highlight different things. There are people here on Twitter that are just data wonks. That's all they love to do day in and day out. And you know what? Now they've gotten huge amounts of following because, you know, they're finding waste in the government or whatever. They have found a niche for themselves using their superpowers, and they've used the technology at their fingertips to absolutely magnify it. So, you know, marinate on those kinds of things. And then also think about the fact that it's not just a one and done. Yes, to some of it, there's a transaction, sure, but it's serving a larger purpose in different facets in terms of how skilled you are or the kinds of things that you're very interested in. Some of our speakers on stage, if you look at Alisher and Sharon, they've been working together because they have a similar passion or a similar North Star, and they start, playing off one another. Their skills work really well with one another. AI John is the same. He's found his group of people, and they're like, yeah, you know what? If I could create a microservice that was very valuable to my community, the 150 or 300 people or 500 people that show up for my daily show, they're going to continue to come, daily, because I'm bringing something to the table, and there's an aggregation there. And then, you're creating your small niche community. And I will tell you, one person, look at a Taylor Swift. She has a GDP that's larger than most countries as a single person, because she knows her audience, she knows what they want, and she writes and does and performs and creates these microservices to cater to their needs. And they are more than happy to pay lots of money in different ways to be a part of her ecosystem. So those are the kinds of things that you want to think about, because each of us, we're here for a reason, right? We want to change our stars, and we need to make money or ducats. We need to make cheese. We need to make fill in the blank. We have to make the dinero to live the life that we want. All right. So now you have to sit down. We understand our why. You're not changing the world. You're changing one thing. What is your one thing? Right. All right, Ross, take it away. You have to
Can you hear me?
unmute.
No, I was. It's just like really slow.
Yes.
Okay. So that was really great, Sarah. I really appreciate that. Now, what you're going to have to do, Sarah, now it's kind of going to be weird. So we're going to, if you guys want validation, we're going to have like 10 minutes. And then you're basically going to be using like your AI. But if you want human eval, join as speaker, raise your hand. The rules are you have to condense what you think your idea is in 1 to 2 minutes max. If you go over 2 minutes, we're just going to stop you because we don't have time. So you want to get your idea into like at least 1 to 2 minutes, and then we can help you, the speakers, narrow down what the micro service version of that is. And also keep in mind what Sharon was saying about selling code, as maybe she has certain things for like $10, but let me tell you, we have purchased code. Alisher knows, he's been there during the meetings, and so does Nick. Like, we've purchased code for $5,000, $6,000. So it's a good market, and it's a different market because developers don't want to like have onboarding calls. They don't want to talk to you. They want to buy the code and go away. So it's really great for you guys because if you have something good and useful, like I forget who actually did it, but I know VR, you were like involved. But like what you built, just like add some bells and whistles, put it on a landing page and sell it for $100. And now other people who want to build Twitter services in Python in their app will buy your thing, extract all the code, literally gut it, take all the good parts. They're not even going to use it the way you intended. They're going to put it in their own app and you're never going to hear from them again. How insane is that? It's the easiest $100 you'll ever make, VR. Think about this. No customers, no advertising, just a solid piece of code for sale. Think about this. Think about how easy it is to make money selling solutions that people could just actually take. Not like something they log into, but something they could take. And maybe I'm going to pretend to be VR. Maybe I'm VR and I don't want to actually like launch it and deal with that madness because like I don't want to deal with people, Maybe that's you. And if that is, then this is a much better way to take that code that you've been messing around with that is like not real, I guess. You're just like playing. But imagine if playtime can turn to money. Do you know how many people would buy the Twitter poster like GUI that you made in Python? You'd be surprised, honestly. It's one-time cost. Remember that. So it's an insane way to do things. It's different than SaaS.
Yeah, and there's no API on there either, which is crazy.
Exactly.
There are a couple things here too. You have to check your ego at the door. One of the hardest parts for all entrepreneurs is that they need ownership of it. They need to control it. They need to have, lick it and stick it, it's theirs, right? That's one of the things with microservices is that you have to divorce yourself from the emotion of building something because it's not your little baby. This is not your necessarily business. This is an opportunity, an arbitrage opportunity, right? Arbitrage is different than an investment, right? Arbitrage is I see a need, I'm going to fill the need. I see a friction point, and if I do my job, that friction point is going to buff itself out, and I am the solution, and that's it, one and done. That is something that is going to be very difficult for some folks because
It's
the
true.
personality type. Yep.
And I'm also say, and then we can go to whoever has the questions, but like a lot of you ask me or message me, or you'll ask someone and be like, how do you do this? And then they ask me anyways. Everyone wants to know how to make AI, like make the money. Like, how do you turn an AI subscription that you have, like with any of these companies, into dollars? And maybe, and I'm using you, sorry, your tribute VR. Maybe like this did cross your mind at some point, and if you sold like 2 of them, you cover all your AI plus you get to go out to dinner. So it's like crazy. And that's only like 2 sales. Like, what if 25 people buy it?
Yeah, I mean, I just basically added a deliverable and added money just using AI, which was like very little extra effort.
Exactly. And now you can actually sell the entire source code VR for like $100. You don't even need to like host it, no users, no nothing, just the whole source code. Literally zip with Python in it is what people would buy. This is real.
Sharon does have her hand up, and just to kind of piggyback, right? There's lots of ways to get to $1 million. You can sell a $1 million solution, one and done. You can break it down by 10. You can break it down by 100. You can break it down by 1,000. The ones that you don't have to have your hands all over are always the best solution. The one that doesn't take any time or energy from you is always the best solution in that respect, in terms of the multiplier effect. But the other thing too, and it's really, really important, the customer doesn't care about you. And the minute that you get over it and understand that it's not about you, even you hosting a space, not about you. You are not the person that you think you are in those spaces. They're coming there because they have a specific need. They have a specific want, a specific something that is a pain point for them. When they buy your art, it's because it reminds them of their grandmother, not because you used, a special color of this, that, or the other thing. If you are offering a solution, it's not because you were so brilliant. It's because it solves a problem for them. And the minute that you can say that and sit here in the chair tonight, this class is definitely here for you to learn a new skill, talent, tool, and idea. Maybe the biggest walkaway is not the technical part of it. It's the ability as a business owner to divorce yourself from the emotion of building something that ultimately the person that pulls the trigger and buys it, they're controlling the experiment. Once you've put it out into the wild, it's theirs. It's their interaction, it's their story, it's their choose your own adventure. It's not yours. And so that is something that you have to think about, because you're going to pour your time, energy. I know a lot of people in this space that have built something that is so useful to them, and they are so married to their project that they've built, and they don't understand why it's not selling. It's because you care too deeply about it. And you'd have to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Why do they need it? And what pain are you solving for them? And when you tailor that micro transaction to their needs and their wants, and divorce yourself from that, you're going to be more successful. Sharon, go ahead, hon.
I just want to say I built my biggest microservice yesterday. It didn't take me very long because I have AI to help me. So in my case, I have so many really good ideas, but I only have 2 hands. What am I going to do with it? So I put a service together that I will give the idea away and the whole thing from start to finish, how to set it up, what to do, and how to automate it. Yeah, that's basically a microservice right there. Because I do other things, but that is definitely something. So a lot of us have these, a lot of ideas and you want to do stuff, but you don't always have the time to do it. But maybe you can help someone else with that, right? And give them the whole set that they can start with the service and start pulling in people and start making money, right? That's why I love what you said, Ross, regarding, VR with his code base. If you guys like coding and you do it a lot, you can sell that. You can sell basically anything that would make sense in today's world, right? A lot of people are sitting there, I would like to make money with AI, but they have no idea how to do it. And I could sell that to them, help them achieve that, and teach them AI along the way, and show them the best AI product that we have today. That's an awesome microservice in my opinion. And some of you also might have ideas, right? And you don't have the time, but you can give it to someone else and get a fee for it.
Or the care. I mean, I build a lot of stuff that I don't really care about at all. Don't care. It's just, it's just business, right? Sometimes you create something by accident and you're like, well, that's great. Do it, sell it, package it, get it off your desk. AI, John, go ahead, hon.
Yeah, I just want to share, working with Josh Hellman at the Innovators Think Tank. Just if you're going to build something, I highly recommend that you test that, find out if that's a burning hair desire that people need to have solved. So you can, go scrape Reddit and stuff and get some idea. But then, grab a notepad, have 5 questions, go out to your local Walmart and ask people. Asking people, hey, does this matter to you, or what part of this matters to you? And if nobody sounds interested, then go, think of something else. But I think that that's a real important part of this in terms of having a product that you're going to get inspired because other people are interested. So that's my 2 thoughts. 2 seconds.
I want to add one thing onto what you said that's like super interesting. Yes, everything you said is actually true. But I will say there's like an alternate universe version of it. And it's like, before you do like anything that's like ironclad or join any program, I think the best validation is Visa, Amex, MasterCard. So if you put out a tiny product and the lowest version of your idea, I think if you just put it out there and you get people to buy it, that's validation. That's all the validation you need to keep running. And I think the quicker people go to that, the quicker they'll be validated, the quicker they'll know if their idea is good or bad. Because if it's only a microservice, right, and it pops off and like 300 people buy it, you already know what to do. But if it doesn't, you lose maybe an hour and a half. So I think that's a good first step, like even for you, John, even if you don't want to like charge people yet, get a wait list going, sell it 50% off, launch it in 2 months. If you get 10 people that pay you, it's probably going to work.
The other thing too is that you don't have to have a perfect thing, because 9 times out of 10 too, if you're selling a piece of snippet of code, you're just streamlining the purpose, the project for somebody else. They're going to take it and make it their own, right? It's that cupcake from a box. You're going to ice it and make it your own. You're buying a birthday cake and you're going to make it your own. Those are the kinds of things that you have to think about too, is that, there aren't any bad ideas. And the other thing too is that Sharon said something that was very, very important, is that she's been building consistently for 2 years now, okay, in our ecosystem. She's been, showing up and putting, these things together. Some of the things that she built in that first, 5, 6 months, 7 months sucked, right? Or just didn't work. You just put them on a table and you're like, I don't know. Sometimes you're just too early. There are times where, as a creative, because you're an unconventional thinker, you've thought up of something that its time just hasn't come yet. Right. And to be able to say, well, here's a catalog of all these ideas. I have 1,000 ideas. People come to my studio and they're like, dude, this is freaking awesome. Yeah. Well, I showed it to these folks and they said no, because their time horizon was right now and it wasn't trending at this particular time. I never throw away any of my art because eventually someone will buy it. If you're crazy enough to build it, someone out there is crazy enough to buy it. Okay. I will tell you that point blank. VR, your hand is up, honey. And then we'll go to user mod.
Yeah, I just wanted to say whenever we get to that portion of something to build tonight, I have an idea ready to go if we need one.
Excellent.
So
I'm sure
that's actually
there's so many people here.
a good segue into what we're going to do next. So if anyone has any questions about what we're doing, feel free to raise your hand. But what I want to do now is if you have an idea, because we're not all building the same idea, guys. So if you have an idea that you want to actually turn into a microservice, but you're like not sure how that would happen or how it could work, this is your time to sort of let us know right now, and we can give you real like human-centric feedback. But then when it comes to ideas, we're actually going to let the machine do it. So I'm going to task the machine to come up to be like an idea generator for MicroSaaS. So basically, I'm creating an agent in a few minutes, and it'll be like, you can put in anything, and then it will give you the MicroSaaS version of that, or microservice version, whatever it feels necessary. So if you do want to get your idea validated like right now, before we even like go forward, jump up on the stage. Sarah will call on you. Try to keep it 1 to 2 minutes max, and then we'll give you feedback on what the microservice version of that could look like.
Ross, do you have the ability to just create a link up in the nest so that it could be like a sandbox affair for folks that were, in the audience, just to kind of put something in the machine? Or
No, because then it would require us to go back and reach
Got
out to everyone, which we're not going to do anyways, because it's just simply too much. But if
Cool
you are
beans.
willing to Hunger Games tribute this, just like get up here and we can discuss it. But either way, we're going to be exploring everyone's ideas through the process of this season anyways. And if no one has an idea, then we can skip that part of today's session.
All right. So first and foremost, we're all going to channel the Patriot, Mel Gibson. Aim small, miss small. Okay. No grand, big ideas. Just think small. Think of
Well,
the
you
small.
can have a grand, big idea. It just has to be in under 1 to 2 minutes. We're going to help
Exactly.
them break it down into the microservice version anyways.
This is why we sell. Go
I've
ahead.
got one. Epic
All right,
Tech
well,
Maintenance.
Oh, wait. Epic, you can go first. And then Starboss did have her hand up. So just finish your idea and then we'll go
Okay.
Starboss.
And make sure you guys put your hands up so Sarah knows who to call on. And if you need to be a speaker right now.
I will be fast. Epic Tech Maintenance Tech, or Epic Maintenance Tech, Business and Microservice Development Plan, Business Analysis and Planning, Define Target Audience, Homeowners, Landlords, Property Managers. I will fix everything for them, or I will write all the code for it and everybody else can do it on their end.
So I have no idea what you're even talking about. So you're going to have to go a little slower.
Maintenance tech for your home, for busy people like us that don't have the time to fix up their stuff. I will have the business to do it.
Okay, so you're talking about like you come to my house and like fix my AC, like that?
10-4, yes, sir.
Okay. So the microservice version of this, it's actually super easy, dude. And you probably already overcomplicated it in your brain. So it's as simple as schedule, right? And pay. And that's it. You get to the website, you choose a time that's linked to your schedule, and we'll go into how you can do these things. On payment, they'll be able to book. So you can't book unless you pay. And then once you pay, right? You'll have a way that you can always, retract it. But basically, if it's in your area, right, and you could physically go to these places, you can basically have them book you online, right? And just make one page to hit the trending searches. So you put like all your CEO monsterness into one page. And then that page starts rising on the ranks. And then you can actually start selling that. And the best part is, if someone in Arizona decides to buy it, you can have, this is the cool part, you can have a subservice on that page that if you're not in the local area, so you have to define a local area on the website, that you would actually go on a video call and help them, which would cost less. And that's like really easy way to start making money using a skill you already have. And it's really easy
And
to build.
and actually, that's what I'm actually trending towards. I would like to be able to sit at the house and literally get on a call with these people and tell them how to fix their stuff. But I ran this through the machine, and I already had a price point in my head, but the machine came up with a way better price point. I was like, hell yeah.
Well, the machine for what we're doing now is very useful because the machine can just basically channel the entire world of the internet and all the LLMs all at once. It's like that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's the machine. So when you task it to help you with like creating something, it's going to systematically indicate any issues, potential pitfalls, and make you some really good pricing. And you can also have like machine make you contracts too. And it's actually not a bad idea because like 9 out of 10 times, like if I were to take my cell phone and show you like my dryer, right, where I dry clothes downstairs, and I remember it wasn't working one day, and I had to call the company, right, and I did, and then they were like, "Oh, go to this page, and you could pay $49.99, and we'll get an e-technician," and I'm like, "The hell is an e-technician?" An e-technician is someone that gets on a live stream and it's like, oh, hit that button, remove this, and take all this filter stuff out, and then hold the button. Took him like 10 seconds, and he made $50. I can't even. That's insane.
Ross, were you not cleaning the lint trap? Come on
It's
now.
true, I wasn't. But I know how to do it now, and that's the cool thing. So like a service like that, I now know do not need it. So it's like great for the customer too, in one aspect.
That's exactly what I want to build. Let's move forward.
And that's a really good idea because it's like practical, it's real, you care about it, it's a skill you have, and you're just bolstering on top of it. So it's just amplifying an already existent skill in your repertoire. Solid idea, dude.
Told you I
Excellent.
had one.
I'm glad that, Epic, I was thinking about this, about um, the cut of a meat. I actually thought about that one season with you because I think it would be interesting for folks that buy meat in bulk to know how to cut
Yeah.
and
Oh,
quarter. But
yes, I could do that.
I
Definitely. I
think
can
you should
definitely do
because you
that.
know how many people would be able to, save money on their budgets. Definitely. Starboss is next. We're going to go Starboss. We're going to go to Starboss. We're going to go to user mod, VR, and then Sharon. So don't forget your ideas. Write them down if you have to. Starboss, go ahead, hun.
Hi,
Also,
thank you.
welcome back. I'm so glad to
I
see you in
know
class. Awesome.
that
Okay, now you can continue.
I needed a couple seasons for resting and kind of refocusing, because I'm working with my head injury here and I can't focus on a lot of things all at once and do them well enough. So I gotta
Also,
ration out my neuro durability.
Starboss, we're really glad you're here, number one. But I also want to tell you one thing before you tell me your idea. I think it's totally awesome that your season 2 website is your live website. So claps for you. You really took advantage of building a website and you're currently using it, and we couldn't be prouder.
Well, thank you. I mean, it needs a couple tweaks, but I did it. Like that's it. Like my biggest thing was didn't have to be perfect. I just needed to do it and I needed to make it be a live place, right? And I know I can figure the other things out. I actually did a little bit more research on like where I went wrong on it. So I'll circle back and get it cleaned up when I'm ready to get everything like out there and talk to, you know, VCs and things like that. But I'm very proud to be able to say to like people that I did that. Like my son, he's funny. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm sitting in class." And he's like, "Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad you're learning." And I'm like, "But look, I got a web page, man." And he's like, "Wow." Like he was very, you know, surprised that I actually had like a tangible thing, you know? So I was like, "Okay, I feel victorious." And I just want to say thank you for being so welcoming to me because as a retired teacher and given my brain injury situation, which was something I didn't ask for, it's very hard to know if I can do the work, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's sometimes very hard, and I appreciate Alisher and you and Sarah and Kevin and Nick and everybody just, you know, giving me that extra love and giving me the extra time that I need to be able to get it. So I hope I'm getting this assignment because I have a lot of things that irritate me now that I'm neurodiverse and it's a lot harder for me to get things done. I have 1,000 ideas. And I think from way back when, I think I said something about like, oh, like eating properly, you know, like having a good balanced meal. And now I know that there's people out there that have those kinds of things available. But one of the things that I still struggle with a lot, and it's a barrier to me having a timely quality life, is organization of paperwork or like managing my incoming mail. And so I really want to be able to figure out something that's easy for people to use, not something that I personally have to manage like directly. Maybe an agent can manage it. And so like just organizing incoming physical mail and then like digitally recording it or maybe even taking a picture and having it put it in a proper file or put it in the right location, or that's business, that's personal, and you know, organize it for like my business expenses, like, oh, this is food and that's travel, or you know what I mean? To just kind of do it for me. So that I don't find myself struggling with you know, piles of papers and things like that that are very arduous to go through later because when you have challenges with executive functioning, which I do, um, it's hard to initiate a task that is geared around technology and paperwork, interestingly enough. That's something that people with head injuries really struggle with. And so it's not unique to me, it's something that happens with a lot of people who have my kind of condition. So I'm going to focus my love and focus on those areas because I know a lot of people focus or have a lot of difficulty doing paperwork. So that's it. That's kind of my big rub for right now. And the other thing I was thinking about is I often find that I'm using my Apple phone. Like I want Siri to do a task that's really an AI task, and there's real no like I almost need like my own AI agent like deposited on my phone that just gets to learn me personally to be able to like, you know, assist me with the things that I want to get done or I need to get done. So that's kind of where my head's at. Thank you.
So you have like two ideas there. Um, but one of them is very close to like what a bookkeeper does. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you're looking to figure out a way that can help you do those things, right?
Yes.
So once you bring AI into the mix, Star Boss, right? You have to pay. So you have to really think about it. If it's going to be AI driven, you're going to be responsible for API costs. So one thing you could do is you could use an AI, but that's going to have upfront costs. Do you have the ability to pay for upfront costs?
I guess it depends on how steep it is because for me, I actually have to hire somebody to help me go through paperwork. So I have to hire somebody to do the stuff that I can't do anyway. So I'm already out of pocket, if that makes sense.
The simplest form of it is like I upload a receipt, right? And then it tells me like how I should categorize it and what I should do. That's like a very easy way to do it. And we could leverage technology like OCR, right? And then send that last little piece to like a free AI. But by leveraging open source OCR, the reading part can be free. Isn't that crazy?
Okay,
And it could be so
let's
simple,
go.
like you don't even need to be able to actually log in, right? It could be really simple, like a one-page app, and you choose like how many pictures you upload, and that's how much you get charged. So it could be like one receipt is 50 cents, for example. And then if they add like 100, it'd be 50 cents times 100. And then they could pay that on a Stripe link. And you can make it dynamic. So take the number of things input, multiply that, and make that the checkout. And that's a simple way to do something that's actually really difficult. So that's what I would do.
It makes a lot of sense. Like it really needs to be something as easy as like snapping a picture and just filing the physical paper away and letting that picture go into motion into like the proper file from there.
And you won't have to build login, auth, file storage, none of that, because it's going to be simple. And then I could show you where you could spend $100, which you'll do happily, obviously, because with that $100, we're going to buy you some code. You're going to be a little code wrangler, and that code will automatically turn your one page into a fully fledged mobile app ready for the stores with zero coding.
Let's go.
And so this is what I mean about microservices. The thing that she's going to buy is somebody else's code. And I know it's quality code. Anyone want to guess how I know? Come on.
Did you write
Anyone
it?
know?
Because it's Alisher.
Because it's yours.
No, because I bought it.
He uses it. Yep.
I use it. We've deployed apps with it. It's me and Alisher's favorite thing to use when it comes to that.
So your favorite thing is trusted. Fun. It should be that way.
And you guys would think that Ross
Yeah.
and the team would build, but look, even they are buying code, even though they would know how to build it. It's
I'm not going to even waste my time.
Yep. Time is money, people. Time is money.
Look, I can even randomly without like prep ask Nick, if you had to guess, how much you think we spent buying code from specifically like these websites, like CodeSir, CodeCount, all these things?
Over 10,000 easily.
Isn't that insane, people? Like we have spent over $10,000. That means if your service was one of those things, you would have made money. In the great buying spree when I went shopping for code.
Yeah, it all trickles down. Most people don't think about that. That's a great angle, dude. You're right. Spot on. Mm-hmm.
User,
So people
what is
think
your
like
project
we
going
go
to be?
up like this.
Oh, sorry. Ross, finish your thought, and then we'll go through the
No.
hands.
Sure. I just, people don't know, right? And then some of them don't care to ask. They just like make an accusation and a theory in their own head. But like, people don't realize like we did the same thing I'm teaching you. Like, how do you think we got here? It's because we figured out how to do things from other people's code. And not all of it is open source. And when it's not, it's freely accessible with Visa, MasterCard. And like that is really important because if we didn't spend that $10,000, right? We literally wouldn't be here right now. We have like a whole entire empire online. And I promise you, it was not like luck.
It's the whole adage, it takes money to make money. I mean, you have to have something to make something. So spot on, dude. Sorry, do I get to go yet?
Sure.
Yeah, you're good. Go
Next,
for it.
and then we're going to go
Awesome.
to VR, and then we're going to go to Jack.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. So this has just been a really interesting conversation, and I'm in an interesting headspace. Not going to go through any of my personal stuff, but I went through a bunch of health issues that put my headspace in check and got me really thinking about reality, right here, right now, doing the thing, doing the do, making it happen. Because when you get shoved with a mirror of your finiteness. There's no time than the now. And I'm just going to speak that from experience, and I won't say any more than that because I'll get emotional. So, wanted to bring something to the table really quick, and I won't do my long soapbox thing that I've done before in the past. Sorry, I get talky. But I feel like I had the opportunity to give someone some great advice today, whom carried it off like a torch. Super happy, excited, willing to take on the freaking world. And that made me feel so good as a human being. The fact that I'm pretty sure I started a stadium fire with that dude carrying the torch now. I got a lot of people incited by an idea. And not only an idea, but you can do it now. You can do it. You've already said you can do it when you're trying to convince yourself that you can't. And that was just the thing I wanted to throw on the table of elders here. It's good advice for anyone here listening. There's no time than the moment to take that thought, the thing, your big grand plan, your idea, your pipe dream, even your small thing, your micro transaction, your micro business to your macro, right? It doesn't matter. The thing that I've been hearing a lot of people getting stuck with, and this is true, real advice right here, life shit. Sorry, I slip sometimes. It's for you guys. Don't get stuck in the moment. And when I'm talking about don't get stuck in the moment that you sit and intertwine for yourself, that's a basket weave, that's a combination of the future and the past. I don't want to get long-winded about that. Buddhists talk about it, okay? Be here in the now, live in the moment. And when you get these opportunities, don't keep dreaming of what could have been or what might be, because that is the rut. That is where you will stay stuck. Please listen to my words, human to human. I could not wake up tomorrow. Who knows? So this is real true shit.
Language clap. Gotta watch your
Sorry,
language.
sorry.
Thank you.
I slip. I'm
So,
like pirates.
okay. What was
but
the
just-
idea? Because I'm trying to write them all down.
I'll say it. So the idea, staying in the moment, that's what I was bringing to the table for now. And the idea that I have, would you like to hear my idea? It's a wacky one.
Are you talking to Sarah?
No, I'm not. I'm actually on a call.
Okay. He's talking to Sarah. Shh. He's talking to the blue haired lady.
Actually,
so what?
that's my girlfriend. My girlfriend's name is Sarah. It's
Oh,
funny.
that's very good. It's a very good name. All right. So what?
So I have a life.
Yeah,
I have
service you're
a
gonna build.
life-changing micro. It is a microservice, but it can be both. It's both micro and macro. That's why I decided to open my pie hole, trying to be more thoughtful. So this one is good, and I don't have the energy or the funds to run with this one. So if you all could, even as a group, you'll all be billionaires. I'm not joking. I've worked for a lot of them. And I'm tired and I want to give some of the secrets out, and hopefully you guys can run with the torch and make it kaboom. So there's a thing that used to be called computerrepair.com. It's exactly what you guys have been talking about for like a half an hour. Computerrepair.com, I was part of back in 2005, 2006, part of the pilot program. The owner and I actually talked about stuff all the time. I helped him with a bunch of stuff. It later on sold down the road, like many do, because he was too tempted by the money. Company came in that was multi investor owned, conglomerate-ish kind of issues there, and they bought it and called it onforce.com, which expanded not only on tech nerd skills like myself and a bunch of us weird tinkers like we've been our whole lives, but they kind of extorted it. They didn't start extorting it right away. They got us all in excited, and then we were making money as just on service technicians, almost like your Uber of your technician that just shows up at your wherever to fix whatever you have. And there was a network of hundreds of thousands of us. I think there were millions of us at one point when OnForce was still successful, but they're all in their investors and all the, they went through all the internal turmoil, and that did not work out. So onforce.com, if any of you guys are smart enough, if you get your keyboard handy right now, look up onforce.com, go to the Wayback Machine, look at your snippets. You're smart. I know some of you are geniuses. This can be brought back, rebuilt as a multinational, multi-billion-dollar organization that would be for the benefit of all of us tinkering weirdos, and it would go all the way down to the microtransaction, and you guys could even use all your new blockchain technology and all the new cool shit that's happened since 2005 and make it better than even the owner originally thought that it could ever be, and we'd all be happy building things, fixing things, doing things, getting paid, and not depressed. And I'll leave it at that, but it's expensive.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. We have to condense this down into a nugget. So we're going to go to everybody, and I want you to come back when it's a nugget, because here's the hard part, folks, everybody here in the audience. You are multi-potentialites. That means you have 1,000 great ideas. Okay. And what we're doing is taking a fistful of spaghetti and seeing what sticks to the wall. The idea here is to think small, aim small, miss small. So marinate for a second. We're going to quickly. I don't know if Cassandra is still here, so I want to give her credit. Folks, marinate on this very carefully. In the age of AI, we don't need to buy anybody else's crap. Okay. You can build whatever you want. Your Netflix is going to be tailored to you. Your AI is going to create content deliberately geared towards you. You're not going to have those shared experiences. Your ecosystem is going to feed your beast, whatever that beast is. Okay. The idea that you have icons on your phone, that is a thing of the past. In the very near future, you're not going to upload stuff to your phone, because the thing is, you're going to have one app, one phone, one app. That thing is going to, do everything for you. It's going to be your calendar. It's going to be your calculator. It's going to be everything. You're not even going to have a Wordle or Candy Crush or any of this stuff, because you're going to summon the thing that you want to entertain you, right? When you're creating a microservice, what you're doing is saying, hey, I already know that you need something. You need my snippet of code to create your Candy Crush. Let me help you out. That's it. So, you can distill down everything that you want at your fingertips into one golden nugget. I am creating a Glue app. That's it. I want to have something that it's a microservice that will tell you whatever the thing is in your hand at that moment. It's going to tell you what glue is going to work on it, how you can fix it, and how not to waste your money when you're at Home Depot. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Why? Because that is the question I get all the time. Sarah, can I use this paint on this? Yes. Can I use this glue on this? Yes. Can I use this to take this glue away? No, that's not going to work. You know the thing, and it's not going to be some grand or sexy thing. It's going to just make your money and solve a problem. All right. We're going to go to VR, and we're going to go to Jack. All right. VR. What's your idea? Hello, my
Hello.
sweet. How are you?
I sort of had the machine do it, but I'll tell you what it was anyway. It is uh, it's a 7-step process. It's about evaluating real estate. Step one, enter a property listing, and it'll give you the estimate of rents that you can collect on it. Builds you a detailed pro forma, which is like a projected financial statement. Analyzes profitability of it, and then calculates cash on cash return, which is basically how much cash you're putting down and how much you're getting back, and then gives you suggested prices for better returns. And then gives you alternative properties in the area. So like instead of just buying a house because you think it's nice, you can look at it and say, well, if I had to leave, can I hold on to it and rent it out? So that's basically the idea here. And the machine kind of made it already, but it's pretty cool.
I love this so much. An add-on to that service, that microservice, would be you've already bought the house. Now, here's the repair that will actually help you, or here's the repair that's going to suck your money from your account and not do squat
Epic,
diddly for retail.
Epic
resale.
Tech Maintenance. Epic Tech Maintenance at hand.
I'm
Come
telling
on,
you,
VR.
you guys are
We
gonna
got a
work
business
together.
plan. Let's go.
That's it. I'll tell you, because of my son just bought his house, and that's what I'm like, no, you're not doing that. You are not adding that. That's not going to help you in one, but yeah. Okay. Um, Jack, what is your idea?
So it leads into a lot of tentacles, but Fundamentally, it's just a consultancy centered around industrial automation. So I've got 30 years experience in compliance management, electrical engineering design, but most importantly, concepting automation solutions for organizations and individuals that sell that stuff. So essentially, that's what it is. It's book some time for an onboarding call and sell that as a single sale to Concept Solutions.
I love that so much.
Question. Are they paying for your time in this situation?
Yes.
Cool. So it'd be like one of those classic pay me, then book the meeting situations, right?
Correct.
Perfect.
Also, are they paying for maintenance plans with those things?
No. That could come later as a bolt-on, perhaps, because they're if you
thinking ahead.
Yeah, if you think about Ross, I've talked to you before about uploading electrical schematics and then those being reviewed. They could be turned into 3D printed prototypes. I mean, there's a lot of additional steps that can be taken, but initially, what I've found in the industry that I'm in is sales teams, when they go out and talk to customers, they're not very good at concepting robotic solutions. So somebody will have a process or a part they want to make, and they don't know how to look at that and go, here's how you're going to automate that.
It's almost like, does this blend?
Yeah.
The kind of viral, stuff like, can this blend? Or does this kill? Is this automatable?
Is it affordable?
Does this OSHA?
Right.
I love
Exactly. Exactly.
We
So it's
have one
really
of those in our
selling.
pit. Yeah.
It's really selling my experience, if you will.
Yeah, that's actually a great way to start marketing yourself, because what's crazy is people will pay you by the hour, right? And it's not by the solution. So they could pay you and then have to book another session with you after they find out something else. Additionally, it could give you a customer base, right? That eventually you can market to when you build something else. So like, for example, I always make fun of Sharon, but it's like, I just like messing with her, but it's what she's doing is actually really good. So it's like, you can have many products lead to each other. Yep. So one thing we're going to learn about is like in Stripe, you could like be marketing another product while selling a product.
Yeah, and when I was, when Alisher, John and I were working on the One Button, Alisher was showing me a few things in Stripe, and I didn't know that you could use it. That Sharon just mentioned the CRM aspect of it, and it's already got authorization, right? So you're already essentially protected from a security standpoint if you're using that as a platform.
Right. And this is the thing, it's all about optics. So one could look at Stripe and be like, oh, it's to accept payments. But it's much more than that. Because Sharon even realized when she called me, she had some like billing issues like with her customers, and she had no idea how to fix them the right way. She fixed them the like crazy ratchet way, which is fine. Still, at the end of the day, it worked. But when I showed her the right way, she was like, wow, this is crazy.
Well, and that's what I hope to take away from this, quite frankly. So, that night we were all in a space and I was like, ooh, it'd be a good idea to do the micro SaaS stuff. That was the rationale, right? Is I don't have a lot of time. So putting something together that most of the back end work is already intact and I can just configure it, then I'm just selling things I already know how to do.
Yeah, and it's also low effort, high return.
Yeah.
Versus a SaaS is high effort, and then you don't know what the return will be. Whereas micro SaaS, it's low effort, and you're gonna get some return, obviously. And if you don't, pivot.
Well, and I've listened to you and all these seasons that we've had about all the nightmares you ran into, like, oh my God, 1,000 people signed up and I got a $10,000 bill from so-and-so. And, unless you have an operational business or a nonprofit that you can afford that could put you in a world of hurt quick.
Do you know, like, one of those bills can like ruin your whole entire company and your financial healthiness?
Yep.
One bill.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize it, but then they're super happy that their thing popped off. But then they're like, wait a second, why do I have a bill for $5,000 from Vercel? And it's like, oh, you forgot to turn images off, image optimizations, which means Vercel optimizes images, every single image on your site, like every time someone visits it. And you're charged after 1,000. Do you know how quick you get to 1,000? Like in a month, not even.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
That's with no customers though. That's you refreshing your page and checking changes.
Also,
As
you
soon as
did that.
customers come, yeah, you can do it to yourself.
Just debugging
You know,
your
one
own
wrong
stuff.
move. Yeah, one wrong move on Railway, you could have a $10,000 bill from Railway. That's real.
Ugh. Yeah.
Do you know
Anyway.
Google's commonly in the developer community, they're known for like killing startups because they'll give you a $200,000 bill shamelessly. Even if you made a mistake, they don't care. So it's really important to understand the complexities before just like forking a thing that says like it's a SaaS and then plugging in Stripe and Supabase and all that stuff. Because like then at the end of the day, like Supabase itself seems harmless and free, right? Until it's not. Until you're charged by the byte.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Ross, it's also a way of how you design it. I mean, there are so many ways to do this. Like for me, credit system, right? And my credits are calculated, right? And credits go out. Well, you got to buy more credits. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's true. But what I'm saying is like when you have a bigger system with like auth and stuff, it can get a little out of control. Like our Supabase got out of control within the first week of machine. I had like death threats from Upstash and Supabase telling me like I've destroyed the free tier.
Literal death threats.
Yeah, like it's emails with like alert emojis in them telling you like your service is about to go down.
But
Or
do you,
like-
I mean, do you believe that we're going to build these crazy things? I mean, you're coming with hard, it's good to think about that. That's why I like to start small. That's the reason why I don't have a crazy app out, that you guys are very advanced.
Well, it happens in a blink of an eye. Once you like follow the YouTube tutorial and the thing is live and you like are on free tiers of everything, it only takes like your first like few days live with customers where you're getting emails like I have from Upstash telling me starting tomorrow, they're going to start rate limiting people's requests in the machine because I'm hitting a limit. So if I would like to not hit a limit, I am invited, my favorite part of the email, to go and upgrade my account.
My solution is, what's the damage? You know, this is what my dad did. When we'd ever get an estimate, what's the damage? If I change these little variables, what's the damage?
But
Hit
that's the thing
points.
you won't know, Sarah.
I know.
Unlike real life, you can't know. Like
I
you will
know,
never
it
know.
sucks. It's
You
just
just won't
such a
know.
hard thing. I don't know if
And
you
that's
see
why
that.
microservices are good.
Yes. I don't know if you see John's hand up. That's why I interrupted
I
you,
don't
honey.
see hands at all.
Well,
So.
let's let John talk about his idea for a second. And seriously, these are all things, and they're very, very important, folks. What Ross is telling you is absolutely important, is that when you're building out these microservices, also think about the flip side. Like Ross asked a very good question of Starboss. He's like, hey, do you have money up front to buy this? Because you're using a specific piece that's going to eat up a lot of, credits. It's going to eat up a lot of GPUs. It's going to eat a lot of whatever. Right. And then her question or her answer is, well, if it's just for me, I don't care because I need it. Right. But these are the questions that you actually have to think about, because when you put something out into the wild, like Ross said, you have no idea. You don't have any idea until it smacks you in the face. You do not see that oncoming car at all until it sideswipes you. So you have to understand the little facets and what you're asking for in this microservice itself. You're not just saying, here's what I'm going to do and here's what I'm going to, charge. You have to understand, all right, what systems do I have in place right now? And what are they going to cost, or how is it going to be calculated? When am I going to hit this? Because let's say one of the most dangerous things that you can have is you hit it awesome and it goes viral, and then you are fracked because in order to scale up, you don't understand, sometimes the kiss of death is to be too popular, so you have to kind of marinate on those things too. John, you have your hand up, and I want to hear your idea. Go ahead.
Well, I'd love to do research, and I put libraries of information together. And I was thinking I could give access to libraries of information. Usually about marketing and market research or whatever. It's pretty specific, but I think it actually be helpful to people in the community. And so it'd just be something to retrieve information that I gather, libraries that I gather.
You can actually charge a truckload of money. Cranes Detroit, for instance, back in the day as a business just a business owner, if you wanted a subscription, it was like $10,000. And it was because it had the best information about all of the local companies, who got the grants, who got the, in Detroit, who got the building permits, who got all of that stuff. And so if you have a niche market like that and you're the aggregator of the data and you have that resource, heck yeah, $10,000 a pop. And you don't even have to have a physical magazine anymore. So, if you're the guy who knows how to get stuff, this is Shawshank Redemption, and we are all wanting to be read. We want to be.
The idea back that could have confused people earlier, since you told me to ruminate a little, which I did.
Excellent. Okay, so
Yes.
on your mark,
Basic
go.
technician dispatch services with the current services that we have at our fingertips right now. Go. And I think it can be done for tech geekies and tinkerers alike, and anyone who has skills with their hands. Kind of like I said before, like the Uber of people. Make it a lot simpler than a long-winded speech. So thank you.
Oh, you're awesome. An Uber of people. Ross, what are your thoughts?
So once you're thinking about like Uber of people, you're entering this like murky area of like having to build infrastructure. The purpose of what we're doing is to kind of strip away the part of it that is going to be infra and build the simplest version of it. So for you, it could be something so simple like, let's say, we'll use us for example. Sarah, she's good at like copywriting and good at Maker Faire business and stuff like that. Our team's ridiculous at coding. Like if we could code while sleeping, we would. And then there's like other people like accountants and friends that or like other people, and you could put this in a JSON file, right? And then you could label them. So it'd be like Sarah Hodson, Maker community manager, writer, whatever. This could be a huge JSON file, right? Because there's no limit really on using JSON, and JSON's not a database, but also JSON is a file, so it's free to host on Vercel. Awesomeness. And so you don't even need AI, and then the person could literally just like start typing like marketing, and then people will show up. And then to access the people, when you click it, it's going to say, please upgrade to access like actual contact information. And then you would charge them based on how many people they clicked. So let's say it's $2 to open Sarah's profile, for example. That's like a really good way to kind of build an MVP and see if people like it. And then if people love it, you can kind of take those next steps, right? With like auth and proper database and real, actual functioning, full-fledged SaaS. But you can start with a JSON and a website page.
Oh my God. Sorry, my brain's melting.
And so these little tips and tricks, we're going to actually learn how to do these things. And it's really important that you train yourself to like everyone I meet on Twitter, by the way, like I've met so many of you, like whether it's on an onboarding call or just a meeting and you're not a customer or in spaces. And one thing that I could tell you that's common in everyone is you're always told to like take the moonshot or shoot high. But whoever told you that does not like you because it's a lie. You should never do that. Success is a ramp, not a hockey stick. So if you don't start at like the dumbest version of your product, it'll never be that moonshot project ever. And so when you understand the fundamental truth behind that statement, you will mechanically alter the way you think about these things. And then your next product, like what Sharon's doing, is going to be these like low effort, high return, simple projects. And the more you dive deep into a SaaS, the deeper you're going to get, and then your flashlight's going to go out and you're going to not know what to do. Now, if I get in a situation like I've had where, I mean, I can just be straight up and tell you, just so you understand, like I built something really cool with the machine and y'all love it, but like there's no amount of money that I could charge you monthly for the machine that would have covered my initial mistake, which was like a $10,000 bill, which was having the Redis and the containers running 24/7. Thank God that I took the right procedures and I did two things. One, I reached out to the vendor and I basically saw that they had like a program where they give you $50,000. So I was like, I'm going to apply to this. And then I sent them a message. And then I did the only thing I knew how to do, which was put the whole thing on a credit card and just hope for the best. Because in the best case scenario, they're going to give everything back. In the worst case scenario, the app doesn't go down. And even though like it wouldn't have taken like over $10,000, the charge would have went into pending state, which would have kept the machine online long enough for me to reach out to them. And I reached out to them, and we are part of the startup program now, and they refunded every single charge. So like, even if you're the best, you can still make a mistake. And it wasn't even an oversight. It was like somebody messaged me. They were like, oh, my sandbox is like dying. I'm like, oh, I'll make sandboxes stay open forever. Boom. Horrible decision.
I remember this.
And like, the thing is, had I not had my experience, I wouldn't have known how to fix this because it was all coding. Like I had to create a new function to basically put sandboxes to sleep. And then when you poke them, wake them up. And now machine is just perfect and humming. And this happens without you even doing anything. Like you'll go back to your project and it's woken up already. And that's why I would not recommend people taking moonshots when it's your first time. Like I, as an engineer, think you're like, I don't know, like living in fantasy land when people are like, I want to build a SaaS and you've never even built anything. It just seems to me so crazy. But like to everyone else, they're like, this is normal. Like we're going to moonshot. We have AI. I'm like, no AI in the world is going to help you right now with that. There's not even an AI in the planet that could be like, oh, let's take you from, I don't even know what NPM is to SaaS. Like that is just not real. And if you want to play in like not real land, you can. I won't be there. You may be alone, but like it exists. And that's not how you should treat this. And you shouldn't try to learn something backwards. It's like trying to like learn how to walk, but your first day you're like running track, but you don't even know how to walk and not fall. So if you run track, like you're going to probably like run into the thing when you try and jump or fall or trip or hit another person because you don't know how to control yourself at that speed, or you don't even know the right clothes to wear. So you get like rashes and stuff after running. So it's like really important, like to know like what's going on. Just like you wouldn't jet ski or scuba dive if you don't even know how to swim. That's actually illegal and they won't even let you. But you all right now in this area that we are in together is like the wild, wild west. I can go on my profile and I could put CEO of Microsoft and that's okay. And no one can stop me. And someone could look at my profile and just be dumb enough and be like, wow, this guy's the CEO of Microsoft. And that's okay. But we can't do that when building our products. We can't live in Fantasyland because that's not a fun place. And at the end of the day, Fantasyland just dries up and goes away. And then reality sets back in. So it's better to be in reality with the rest of us, learning and building on a ramp, not a hockey stick, taking tiny steps to get to the top of the mountain. Just remember, if you try running up a mountain, like a hill, like any hill, you run, I walk. By the time we get there, you may not even get there because you'll be too tired or probably fell like along the way because you're running. And I'm just casually walking. Like, and I'm going to get there and I'm going to be happy and safe and healthy. And it'll take me longer. But what's the difference? Does it matter if it takes me longer if you never get there? No, it doesn't. Think about that.
Ross, we do have some hands. For many people that need a visual, there was a gentleman who sat on a lawn chair and had a BB gun in his lap and then proceeded to have a whole bunch of helium balloons attached because he thought I could fly above my 10 feet in my backyard. And he ended up about 18,000 feet. And so the police were called when airplanes came by and saw this man in a literal lawn chair with a gun in public airspace. Okay, things like this happen. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. All right. And it is important to understand the tools that you're using because, you should actually look that story up. It is absolutely hysterical. Magna has his hand up. We're going to go to Magna and then we're going to go to Sharon. Magna, it's always wonderful to see you. Welcome back to class, my friends. We missed
Hello,
you.
all my
What is
beautiful
your
friends.
idea?
It's so good to see everybody. My goodness.
Excellent. What is your idea, my love?
Well, I have a project that I've been working on for a couple years actually, but I just recently brought it into AI. Started tinkering with it on the machine. Just really very short term, but the results I got out of that were just amazing to me. And it's a project I call CoMine, and it weaves insight and decision making, memory. Basically, I've got 30 years of this IT data that I have saved about me, my projects, things I've written on it, white papers I've done, things, lots of this information about me. And I decided one day that my wife was asking me, what's going to happen to all that stuff one of these days when I'm gone. And so I started asking, what do I do, and how do I go from there to here? And I started looking at some things like character AI and replica and replicate and things like that. But I kind of took it to the next level, and I built a system that weaves decision making, insight, memory into like a living thread, like a thought building, a self-aware. So I call it my digital twin, and people have been calling it that for since the beginning of digital twin projects. But so it eventually creates these values and projects and all the legacy and stuff that I have. And I blended symbolic reasoning, recursive identity, ethical forethought, all this other stuff into it that I've kind of been building on. And I want to take this thing to the next level at some point. And it's just something I've been wanting to work on for a while. So I'm just throwing it out there that I'm now down. I'm throwing down the gauntlet with this thing. So.
Nothing will focus your attention more like a deadline or a firing squad in the morning. So excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm proud of you, Magna.
A
I can't wait
deadline
to
or
see.
a firing squad. I just almost choked on my coffee.
It's an actual. I can't take claim for that one, but that's what we do at Maker Faire. Is that you get 3 weeks, or in robotics you get 6 weeks to build, and you know what? Nothing will focus you like a deadline. And, we have 6 weeks here, I think, depending on how long our season goes. And you know what? Setting that goal and putting it in the cement, not in the sand, in the cement, and just saying, I will apply to the Hatch program. I will have something to put into the hopper and to be considered, and don't back down. You have all of these people to hold you accountable. Sharon, your hand's up, my love. What's your idea?
I don't have an idea. I have too many. I got to take a break with my ideas. But I just wanted, so there were two things that were really important, and I just want to give the tip. Oh my gosh, my dog. Oops, that's the big one. He doesn't bark often, but I'm sorry. We'll go on mute.
Akuna Matata. I have 3 of those that do the same thing, so don't worry about it. All right, so we've kind of filtered through. I might be removing some folks from the speaker panel. Don't take offense, because we do have some other folks that need to come on up. If you are unable to actually, wow, I do not know why Tech in Schools is no longer. Cash Money Kev, if you could add them, because I see them requesting and I cannot bring them up. Tech in Schools is out and about in the wild. I'm not really sure what happened to them. All right, Sharon, are the dogs quiet?
Yeah, she's
Excellent. While you do that
Before
and
you're
tell
talking.
everybody what you're going to build, I'm going to try to MacGyver an interesting way to get the boys back on stage.
They, and Sarah, they do have the co-host invite coming. I think it's just, they're bugged out. They might have to take a full lap. Sorry for stepping on toes, Sharon.
No, you're
I'll hand it right over.
Well, he's the most important person, and we got to bring him back up. We can't do this all by ourselves. So bring him back up, please. That's more important. So the way I'm thinking about, these microservices that I do, they do have to do with my skill set. I think Jack mentioned that earlier. It's his skill set that he is trying to leverage, so to say, right? Make it more accessible and make it cheaper also. That's also something that Jack said, and I'm doing the same. So the things that I'm offering are definitely things that I know about, that I can do, that I do myself, and that just also helps others. And it's going to make you at that moment, maybe, I don't know, it's going to make it easier for you, maybe. And my small services are going to lead into an application that I'm already building, but I'm just building that in the background, and it's not something that I can build very fast. First of all, I have a lot of other things to do, and it might not be that important because we're still at the beginning, right? Ross said, he's walking, others are running, and they, die along the way, not in the real sense. Like, think about a game, right? Computer Super Mario, right? They just get lost along the way, and he's just going slowly at his pace, and he'll arrive at his goal at some point. I've been building applications for 2 years, but I'm still an observer. I'm looking what's going on out there, and I'm seeing where can I maybe support with my small microservices that will then give me more experience, more understanding what people need, and that will then lead to something bigger that I already start to build. Alisher helped me, right? We are going to put that app out at some point, but not today, right? It's not that important because I'm still observing and I have the microservices. So I just want to put that out there. Everybody has a skill set. And that's the unique thing. Everybody has a way and a perspective with their skill set too. A lot of people are scared. Oh my gosh, my idea. Well, what if somebody steals it from me? No one can steal your skill set and your experience and what you bring to the table. Everybody's unique. So I think AI is going to make that even more possible. Everybody's speaking about custom made. You don't have to go broad. You can go really small, your niche, what you know, and then see how AI can help you and help others. That's how I'm doing it. I'm taking my time. Some people would think, okay, she did this 2 years. Why is she not launching a big app? It doesn't need to be today. Maybe it's in a year. Maybe it might be in 2 years. Who knows? I'm not saying you have to take that long, but start small and then grow along the way. And then you will make the right decision at that moment when it needs to be made, right? So it helps me a lot to see.
I'm back. Do you hear me? Oh my God.
Yes, I was just going to test your mic. Excellent.
Insane.
How was it, running up the mountain? I see that you didn't die, so I think we did good.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
we're
continue.
So as you can see, like any idea that requires like infra, database, login, all that, off the table. So you have to think not small, but you have to think strategically, because again, like another example, and we're gonna use Cash Money Kev as tribute for this one. So he did something kind of smart, but he doesn't really know why it's smart yet. So he got approved to Code Canyon, right? Now, let me tell you something, Cash Money. Do you know Code Canyon gets probably close to 1 billion views a month?
I did not think it'd be that much. I thought it'd be a lot less.
Well,
Like
I meant to
the
do like
1,000.
a funny thing that you just did. So let's say you go to Code Canyon, you put up 5 products, right? You put them up. They're all, I don't know, $20, $30, right? Let's just say. Because that's like a good number for like a template or something. Unless you're going bigger, you can charge, more. But let's say you have 4 products, $30 each, right? But then when they go to customer support, you tell Envato, hey, I do my own support. And then Envato's like, cool, bro. What's your link? This is the kicker. The link you give them is going to be a microservice selling website that has support also. And how do we do this? We're going to talk about how you're going to get free tech support, AI powered support that you don't even have to worry about. It's crazy. But can you imagine, Cash Money, that like all the views that come from CodeKine and they go to your product, they're like, wow, I love this. Let me go to this guy's website. They get there. And then you're like, pop up, bam. Hey, guess what? If you purchase directly from here, you could save money. And it's $20 instead of $30. Do you know you'll be able to use Envato as a lead generation, paying them nothing for free advertising? Think about that. And this is a common practice. So 90% of people on CodeCanyon go to their website and you can purchase it cheaper than on CodeCanyon. It's pretty crazy. And that's a huge amount of eyes on your products. And that's zero cost for advertising. But what does it require? You must be accepted as an Envato creator. And that's what you did already. Did you know about that, Cash Money? How you could do that?
I did not, and now I'm looking at the top authors, like portfolios and profiles, and they have their like website or business name for that, like a lot of the time, like WStats.
Exactly. So you can basically have someone buy something on CodeCanyon, realize you have a website, and then get the rest of your products for cheaper. Not at CodeCanyon. This is common practice. So all of you, regardless of what you're doing, you should become an Envato author. You never know when that could be useful.
Also, I have a quick question, Ross. You mentioned if we are thinking of something that has a sign-in that's too complex and it's off the table, right?
Yeah, because you could do it, but once you do that, you're like doing a whole thing. Now you need a Neon database and NextAuth and all that. We're trying to create a simple thing that you don't need to log into. You don't need a database. All it does is it gives you money. So like a little money printer, basically. That is your services.
I think I was just getting like Stripe login mixed up in my mind because we're gonna have that.
Well, Stripe is not a login. Stripe is like a payment. So Stripe,
I was just thinking of getting it mixed up in my mind of like logging into your like bank info and stuff like that. I didn't want it to get confused in any way like that.
Yeah, I mean that's also a way you can get around the login system, which is like use your last 4 digits of your credit card and you can log in. That's actually really smart. So like the last 4 of your credit card could also be utilizing Stripe as a database, which is a crazy way to do that. And doable because Stripe knows the last 4 digits of each customer's card. So, and honestly, a lot of companies do this already. So like how many of you went to like Home Depot and you bought something and you like forgot about the receipt? You went to go return it and you needed to find out like how you purchased it, what the receipt is, so that they can look up with the last 4 of your card in the Home Depot and it will locate your receipt. You can do that very similar thing with Stripe. So that is a way you can simulate auth, even though it's not really logging in because there's no username. It's just the last 4 of your credit card. So that's not a bad idea. Actually, I never thought of it, but it would work. Now, 2 things. One, I actually went to Machine and I asked it. Let me just put this public for you guys. Yeah. I asked Machine to I made an agent, which is now public. And I gotta tell you, Machine's new updates are crazy, y'all. Crazy. Like it just ran an NPM server, port 3000, where it couldn't do that before. Now it could actually run it. And I had it create a microservice for selling my code. So I have code. I want to take people's money, give them the code as what they get as the product, and I want to be able to update it. And they continually get the updates to the code. And they're paying monthly. So it's not one time. It's like a membership, like $30 a month, and you get access to like whatever I put there. So you can see Machine actually and Microservice Analyzer at this point right now is available for everyone in the machine. And you could fork my agent and you could use it. And what's crazy is it actually built the entire thing, like the whole thing in one shot. It took 19 minutes and the entire thing is done and running. And you can see it in the live stream. Pretty wild stuff. And that connects to Stripe, connects to GitHub via API, and allows one single person to get automatically invited to your GitHub repo via Stripe. And the machine did it in 15 minutes. Now all of your cool projects you can like put in this GitHub and you can like give it to people for money. And this is so low effort, it took me 15 minutes. And so if you don't have Machine, now is definitely a good time to try it. If you have an account, you can make like a new account if you want to go on like the free trial and not use minutes. But you don't have to use Machine. I just used it because I wanted something to show you quickly. You could use any AI you want. You could even use AI Tutor or Cursor or Windsurf. It doesn't matter. But here's an example of a microservice. And so if you guys want to see it, I will share it. Just gotta do that. Go here. Go here. And then one of these lovely people in the speaker will put this in the Jumbotron for you.
And Ross, I did something similar to what you did. I just used Sonar Deep Research though to get, I think, my idea for this season's microservice. I'm just going to be doing a converter, file conversion microservice for print ready formats, and all it does is the basic idea is it's going to be converting obscure image formats like HEIC, PSD, and WebP files to print ready standards like TIFF, PDF, JPEG, without complex processing.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea, and you can make it like $5 a month too, and it will cost you nothing to run. This will be just like JavaScript magic.
Yeah, it gave me a pricing table too, where it's like 500 conversions can easily be charged for $20 a month, or you could do by the upload.
You know what the full-fledged idea of that is, Cash Money Kev? Like the real SaaS version? That's the micro version. The real one would be like after you're done and you got some customers, use Python, make an API so other people can use this service in their applications. And if you built it and it was good, I would be your first API customer, because that's a cool thing to put in our AI products, where you can simply just ask for a conversion, and it does not use AI. It uses actual JavaScript and an API call.
And I think it's so. I asked Sonar Deep Research to simplify the microservice for me, and so I wouldn't need to apply any AI or any extensive coding. And that's what it gave me. And I gotta say, Ross, these deep research reports are so powerful. I love them. And it actually highlighted the fact that this is a great microservice niche, microservice, I should say, for the Apple ecosystem, like he mentions. And it's giving me percentages of the market cap. And it's saying that 37% of professional photographers use HEIC files, which is Apple, but 92% of print services require TIFF or JPEG files, which is so interesting.
Yeah, it's true. And you guys could see, I shared it somewhere. Let me see if I can get it in the Jumbotron. So if you guys click Yeah, I got it. Okay, so if you click this, this will actually take you through the thought process of the machine when I used it just now. And so I don't know if you guys see it in the Jumbotron. I don't, but if you see it, you can click it and it will take you through the entire process that I did. And it'll show you the whole conversation. And it was like 100 and something steps to get to the end. And the end result is just absolutely mind-blowingly cool. Because it has a real link that you can really go to, and it really works. It's so crazy. So this is like how you can use AI, right, to your benefit. So not like using AI to just like talk to it, have it build real things for you. Like I could go live with this tonight, people. Tonight. So this is a good example, and I did put the agent in the marketplace if you guys want to use it. But any AI you use will work. AI tutor, anything. Like it's not about necessarily using machine. A machine is just the automated way because I'm talking to you. How am I going to sit and use AI tutor while also talking like it's crazy? Like I need to have like 7 hands. But I use machine, so like while I'm talking to you, it could spend 20 minutes and figure this out. And I love that. That's my favorite thing about machine. And if we have hands, let me know. I don't see anyone, but maybe we do.
Sharon does. Sharon, feel free to. Or did you come up with an idea? I know you said you were busy, but or did you have some add on? That's what Ross was saying.
I don't have idea, but I do have idea what you guys could add to that. You know, I think other people also make code. So if you can make it easier for people to place their code on your site and you take a small percentage, that could also be probably a very awesome idea.
And what do you mean you don't have an idea? You have like ideas coming out of your ears. Just pick one. I'll give you 2 options. You can go with the GitHub thing because I know you're like dying to do that. So you can do
Do I
that.
have to build it?
Or
Oh, we're gonna build that. Okay, well, I'll do the Gitvite. Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
or you could do something a little bit different because you, unlike everyone else, already have microservices online for purchase today. So what you could do is you could aggregate them. You can make a website like Sharon's microservices, and all of them are there.
Well, okay, I'll work on that because I have to finish my WordPress site. That's basically Explorers of AI. So we got 6 weeks. Okay, I'll definitely.
Yeah,
I
but
want
this would be like a landing page into your other like websites. But it would also serve as a way that if someone did not care about anything about what you do and they just want the social score, it'll be there too, where they can just one click and get it on that landing page of microservices. And then you can have a link to the magazine.
Well, that's the Explorers of AI site.
Yeah, but see, once you have a website with multiple pages, it's harder to get it ranking. If you have a one-page site, you could rank it number 1 on SEO. Very easy. So think of it like a lead magnet, basically. Like they come in, they put their email, they get put on a resend list on Resend API, and then they could click and choose from your stuff. And if they hit magazine, they go to like the magazine website. And if they hit like you could do like a bento box, right? I know you love the bento box. You could add another thing like AI builders, and they click that, they go to AI builders, or they go, you know what I mean? It's like a map. Like
I'm
a
not, yeah,
digital map.
yeah, but that's that site. I'm not gonna, you want me to do another site? I'm not doing that. Is that gonna be better? What's the difference between
Well,
WordPress and a one-page site?
WordPress is harder to rank because there's many pages. So you got to like worry about all the pages and WordPress. Whereas one simple landing page can go to the WordPress for sure, but you can actually get the rankings properly because there's only one page.
Yeah, I'll just add, yeah, okay. I'll just use what I already built and then I'll just add that I have
Yeah,
something.
and you should launch like for real the GitHub thing and make it work for like 100%. That's a really great idea because you build a lot of stuff and a lot of your stuff actually works. They're not just little tech demos, like they do things. And this is a great opportunity to revive the auto email research Python bot, because now someone could want that. Even if you're not going to build it into anything more, just that alone, somebody could want. Because maybe they have
Build
their
it
own
twice,
local
yeah.
LLM that they could use
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, I just have to do it again. Yeah, which I'm already building.
You
It's
gotta
not
do
finished.
spring cleaning. That's what you have to do. So you have to go through your GitHub, find the things that are like high value, quality code, and then put them like in a list somewhere. And then those are the ones that you put for sale.
Okay, I'll do that. I have a domain called Sherry Codes.
Now
That's
with
fun.
you, Sherry Codes is perfect for this. And then what you can do is you can have a component of this similar to the magazine, how like people pay monthly. So it could be like $10, or individually $20, $30, whatever. Or you could do like Code with Antonio. You pay like $400, you get access to everything for a year. Or you pay monthly $50 and you get access to everything versus one by one.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a lot of work. Oh my gosh.
Well,
I
it
have
really
so
isn't, because you're going to do it anyways. So you're going to
gonna
build
do.
anyway.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do, because I think I'm going to start YouTube and start coding on YouTube so I can connect.
And then you should make them pay to get the code. So you show the code on YouTube, just like Code with Antonio. If they want to
Exactly.
like peel their eyes and watch for 8 hours, do it. That's fine. But if they don't, in the description, that's where you put that website where someone could pay you for one-off for this code. So it'll be like $15 for this code right here in this video, or $50 all my code in the future and now.
Yeah, and then you can have that stream, you can have
You'll have a stream of income, and there's no API, there's no nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I can have the machine transcribe my videos, and then I can do tutorials on my site and then sell the code. You know what I mean? That would be really cool, actually a cool workflow for me, because I wanted to start coding. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
well, this is what they do right now. Like, I can give you 10 people on YouTube right now that do this right now. And if you need inspiration, go to like Papa Fam. Look what he does. Go to Sonny's YouTube and look. Just type Papa Fam and you'll see. So he's like, here's my thing. Here's 11 hours. You can copy it, steal it, whatever. But if you're lazy, you can just buy the Papa Fam repository.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that I'm doing it anyway, so I can just record myself while I'm doing it, because
That's what
I'm
I'm
doing.
saying. So you're doing both anyways, right? The tutorial you're going to do anyways. You're going to sit there and do it, right? Because how's it going to get done? You're not going to click your heels together, right? And you're also going to code anyways, because you're coding all the time and you like learning and doing new cool things. So like for you, the lift is 0. And when you have something that's lift is 0 and like overhead is 0 and effort is low and impact is high, you do it.
I mean, this is a good way to repurpose, and then you're selling through repurposing, right? I'm doing this work anyways, and I'm on TikTok now, and I'm all over the place. It's awful, actually, but it's fun, So I do record myself a lot, and you can just make that your thing, really make it useful. That's something that I learned on YouTube, because these people are making a lot of money, right? It's not just, they don't care about the YouTube, the YouTube payments or AdSense or whatever it is that you get.
It's not about that though. It's about the click.
It's not about
through.
Exactly.
Through
Yeah.
click.
Yeah, and they'll be making money there too, but they don't have to worry about it, because look how many creators, for example, lost their ad, whatever it is. What do you call it? Monetize, right? Some of the creators were monetized on this platform, and they lost it, right, from one day to another. And some people really made a lot, and all of a sudden it is gone. And this is something that Alisher and I talk a lot about, because you own this stuff, and you don't have to worry about if you're getting paid from YouTube or if you're getting paid on X, because you have these microservices, and that is streams of income. So even if they take your money away, you're still going to be making money, and it's all yours. You own it, and then you're getting the emails off of the platform into your site. So a newsletter is very, very important. Something where people can click on, where they can add their email address, and then you even have their data that you then own, right? And the platform can't take it away from you.
Yeah, and the thing is, you should never be in a situation where a platform can stop giving you money. Like you should never be in that exact situation where like Twitter controls if you pay your rent. It's just like bad. It's dumb. Shouldn't do that. Because like they're not going to care about you like you care about you. No platform will. So like a lot of people use like Patreon and Etsy and all these things. Like it looks nice, but you know what's not nice? 30% of your money. Not so nice and anymore. So that's like
And
huge.
don't forget too, there's a couple other things that you have to know. Etsy just changed their rules of engagement. So you can't sell your code. You can't sell some of these things anyway on these different sites. And one of the other things that is really important to notice, we mentioned this last site too, CapCut, right? When you're creating your microservices in general, just understand that a lot of the tools that are out there in the universe are getting changed radically. CapCut right now has decided that they're going to be the scooper of all of your data, right? And if you swoop in because you're paying attention to current events and you say, wait a second, I can offer you a microservice that can convert or can do or could whatever, that doesn't, run afoul of these kinds of things. Like if you're using CapCut now, you've just signed over your rights to your voice, to your everything, right? And a lot of people, there's nothing in the, interim. There's nothing in the in between. And if you're paying attention to these things, you can jump on that. And anytime terms of service change, because that's what's happening all over the place, you have the opportunity to jump on it. Sorry about interrupting that way.
Wait,
It
no,
was
I'm
just
going to
something
interrupt
that's on
you
the
really quick, Sarah,
Sure.
because there's something you actually need to learn, and you can learn from
Absolutely.
Cash Money Kev because you're psycho. You're like you're like the cat lady, but domains.
I'm worse. Yes, I
So
am.
what you
Domains.
need to do is sit down, and maybe that's something you do when we have our session. But like he just said something in the DMs, but like I will yell at him to not tell me in DMs and say it out loud. Go.
I was I was asking Ross if it was a good idea for another microservice if I could make one where if I went out and bought domains, I could show them off on a page that I own them, and if people would want to buy it, they could right off that site.
That's exactly what Starboss and I are building, and all of my websites are on the freaking moon. So yes, all 950 of them. So yes, that is definitely something. And to be able to say, hey, guess what? They're also certified and they are accredited. This is one of the other things too. We have so many artists in this space, to be able to add a layer of validity, right? Let's say you have stuff that's also on the blockchain. You're selling your wares, out in the wild, and you're able to digitally notarize where all of your materials came from. That's huge. If you had an app or the ability to say, hey, I just bought a pair of Nikes and I know for a fact that, child labor wasn't used. Right? Can you imagine how many people would just, you could scan an item and know instantly if someone else was being abused or if it was counter to your core value system. These are the kinds of things that, I love this. I love this so much. And yes, Cash Money Kev, you and I are going to have to chit chat, but this is exactly why collaboration is the next currency. And we are all rich, rich, rich people.
It's important that you actually do this because
I know.
you
Jack
are,
has his hand up too, by the way.
that's fine. You're unlike a lot of people that like buy 5 domains. You have like probably over 500.
I have over 1,000.
So here's the thing. Just tell me, I want real reality check right here. How can like let's say Firefly, right? Because like you work with them. How would they be able to get your domains and purchase them? Because they don't know you have them.
Well, not only that, there's no designation. So if you're on, let's say, GoDaddy, where mine are all housed, how do you delineate that these are very special
No,
domains
you don't even
because
have to do that.
I
That'll
know.
happen on your website. Like your website
Of course
ranks
it
them.
is. That's exactly what we're
Yeah.
doing.
So
Yes.
what I'm saying is like, if you don't have it up for display and no one knows you have them, you're just telling your story of how you have 1,000 domains and you're telling it to the
I'm
wrong
Smaug.
people.
I am Smaug the dragon. I'm sitting on a hoard of gold.
Yeah. And you can't do
Parking
that.
my butt on it in the middle of a cavern underground and no one knows I have it. Yep, that's
But
exactly
you
true.
especially, that should be your microservice. It should be a domain exchange where you put a price on a domain and you sell it via Stripe. On completion of sale, you process the actual 7-day giving of the domain on receipt. And then you have information like tell me what provider you use. GoDaddy, you have a selection. They select what account they have. And then you have an input. It's like, give me your name servers, and they would know that from their hosting company. And then once they pay, they're able to give you name servers, and then you can manually award the domains. That's a crazy microservice, and you can start getting rid of your domains and turning them into money.
Well, I would really like that. And I think the reason why this is so cool and it's fun to iterate in public like this is because in that microtransaction, right, you're also, delivering, you have a physical deliverable, but you also have the ability, if you're smart, to have a token, right? That's what Starboss and I were talking about, is to have a token of certification. And what happens is that's delivered to your wallet of choice. So if it's Bitcoin or if it's Ethereum or etc. What's really awesome is just like, let's say Sharon's got a magazine, and you know what the most important piece of that whole puzzle is she has not only your email, she has your home address. If I have their wallet, I'm able to airdrop interesting things into their wallet. That's a very valuable piece of real estate. And so when you're thinking about these microservices, you always have to think about what else you are acquiring in the process. Sometimes giving it away for free is the best way because you have now, you're the vampire. You just,
Well, it's over
got
now. Now it's
invited into their
happening.
house.
Now it's happening. I asked the machine to build it, so that's happening on live
Dang
stream. So if you wanna
You're so funny.
watch, you could watch machine build out that whole idea. The Sarah Domain Exchange.
Sarah Domain Exchange. Thank you very much. Okay. Is it on the live stream? Because I want to see it.
It's
We
definitely
do
on
have
the
hands, by the way. Okay, so Jack is definitely got his hands up, and I am trying to shuffle speakers to bring more people up. And whatever you do, Ross, make sure that you don't make that disappear because I am going to need it after class.
I'll give
And
you the
tomorrow.
zip and I'll give you the conversation so you can use machine.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I love this. This is actually definitely in real time. And Cash Money Kev, I'm giving you a big hug because I love you. All right, Jack, go ahead.
Hey, it's just when you brought up Etsy, something I've been trying to figure out how to do is downsize. And I have an ungodly amount of stuff that I need to get rid of. And so Alisher and Sharon were talking about building an e-commerce site, but I'm not looking to build a business out of it. I just want to sell off all my crap. And I
There
don't
used to be a guy that did that. There was a whole entire ecosystem where you just dropped off your boxes of crap to some storefront in one of those little malls, and they said, we're just going to take 30% of all of the sales. We're going to, pop them up. We're going to list them for you. We're going to send them out when they have to, and we're just going to give you a check. And those are the best places like that, or estate places that have to liquidate estates. This is a huge problem. We just had 3 major deaths in our family last year, and they were all elderly. Yep. And to take
That's what happened to
all their
me.
junk, the Swedish death cleaning. I totally get it. That would be huge,
And-
Jack.
Well, but I thought, geez, rather than trying to list a bunch of stuff, I know those things exist, but usually, at least the ones where I live are like pennies on the dollar. You get nothing. And to give you an example, I have a Japanese tansu that's worth like $14,000 when I looked it up. So, my thought was, does it, and I don't know if this is a micro SaaS type solution, but couldn't I build a site that just had all that listed and
Yeah, you know what's
build
crazy? All you got to do is just make a 1-page site and it could be like whatever. And then you could introduce, and this is where it gets tricky. So there's like this line, right? Which determines if your idea is too big for a micro SaaS, meaning too many different things have to be done. And then there's the other side of the line, which is like alternate universe situation, where like, what if there was a service that would potentially give you all that fancy schmancy stuff, but it still would qualify as a micro SaaS because you're not actually building any of it. You see how there's like that slight there?
Yeah.
Okay. So for
Yep.
you, we learned about this in, wow, hold on. This thing's going.
The Netflix.
So we learned in, I believe season 2-ish,
Before
about,
my time.
so not Netflix, but we learned how to build e-commerce without building e-commerce, if that makes sense. So part of that was like having a login, having credit card management and product management, right? And we did this, if you look on the live stream, and we teach this in actual school. Specifically, hold on one second.
Man, you have no idea how much this would have helped me.
So yeah, and so specifically, Nick actually taught this course to, was it second year students at college when you went over like the e-commerce? What class was that you did? Was it like UX? I don't remember.
Yeah, UX, but after the intro press,
Here, I need to.
I'll just pay you, Nick.
No. So he taught a course where he would take these students in building like a one-page WordPress website, which is the easiest thing to do, right? Because it's just one page. And then not actually leveraging all the other parts of WordPress, right? And then teleporting a store into WordPress using code teleportation or embedding.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to this website,
that's cool.
Yeah, and so your whole idea, like sellmystuff.com, this is a perfect way to do this.
Yeah.
So you basically have a bunch of random stuff that you want to sell, right? But you don't want to build like a whole infrastructure to do it because that's like a lot. And what if it takes you like a long time? You don't want to spend 3 weeks building a WordPress website and 2 weeks correcting it and getting WooCommerce and all that. When you could just go to Eastwood or Equity, however your brain computes how this is said, but they do want to be called Equity. I just don't see it. So
Equid.
Yeah, Equid. So
I remember that class.
so if you go here actually, and I know for you, right, this is like not a huge deal. For some it could be, but like you have like an actual business should be selling stuff. So for you, spending like $30 a month is nothing because of what you're gonna do. So what you can do is you start what you start at the starter at $5. Start with 5 products, get one sold, upgrade to Venture. I'm on Venture right now. We use Equity because we want no nonsense e-commerce. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
And so if you go to my website and you actually try to like, we have like services for schools. When you buy them, you're actually checking out in WordPress, but you're not logging in and checking out in WordPress. But you are logging in and checking out. Like the whole thing with a username and a password and the whole thing. Shopping cart, shopping bag, product, everything.
Wow.
So you can build a one-page website. And then with this, you all of a sudden have an entire store secure using Stripe. That to the user feels like an entire infrastructure. Not one page. But in reality, it's probably going to take you 15 minutes to do.
That's cool. That would do the trick.
And so what you have to do, step 1, is go to Machine or AI Tutor or any AI and say, I need a simple one-page landing page for my e-commerce store and leave a blank section for the actual product grid. And then when you're done, you're tell your AI to put this in that blank section. And so once you pay them, you'll get access to the embed code. And fun fact, Epic, when you took this class, Equity, Eastwood, Equid, they were free for 10 products. You remember, dude?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
That's how I set up my my Stripe and all that stuff.
Yeah, but check this out. That
Successfully the
ship has
first time.
totally sailed. It's gone. That ship has sailed. Done. No more free tier. But here's the thing about information, right? One, it's not always equally disseminated. But if you were here present when you were, you actually have a free equity account, which is nuts because that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, so you signed up early enough that it was still free. That's awesome.
So if you signed up when it was free, that's good.
But even still, Ross, your point's a great one, right? So that's a great example of kind of hacking the system, right? So start out a starter, do a couple, use those funds to then upgrade and put more. And that oh man, that would be way better than now what about if I wanted to add pictures to that, of this stuff?
It already is handled. So you would have an entire CRM at eastwood.com. You can do your pictures and everything in there, and they will teleport
wow.
into your landing page in real time.
Oh my God. It's
incredible. And I launched
is
actually 15 years ago. I launched my first little website using Equity, Eastwood, Equid, whatever you want to call them.
wow, that's amazing. That you just took
and for me, like if they were around 15 years ago and they still around, they're pretty good. I feel like.
Yeah, that's a long time.
They were my first e-commerce. It was so adorable. My first little e-commerce website.
Cool. Very cool. I will look into that. That is something I'm going to do for sure.
No, like it's an immediate buy. You should immediately just join on the $30 plan and start using it. Like it's a 100% immediate buy. Like there's no questions, no research needed. If it doesn't do what I say, you can cancel it, but it's going to do what I say.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I can see it. And thanks for showing it to me.
And you know what's crazy? 9 out of 10 people that do web design don't even know what equity is, that it's like an option.
I never even heard of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Knowledge is
never
power,
even heard of
people. If you're here and you're learning, you're becoming more valuable. Your thoughts become more valuable because they're containing more valuable information.
And then I can use cPanel to host my site.
Oh,
my landing
100%.
page.
And you know what's the best part? Go to cPanel, you put a one-page index.html, and then call it a day. Put your feet up and sell your stuff.
Thank you.
It's going to be the easiest build you've ever done, honestly. And here's the craziest part. Let's say you wanted to machine or AI tutor to build the whole thing. You can just go to Eastwood right now, go put in 10 products, get the embed code, then go to AI tutor or machine, say, here's the embed code, design the rest of the page around it. Done.
That's probably exactly what I'll do because I like using the machine.
And here's the best part. You can go and then you can say, now make CSS for my store that's in my brand, right? And then you go to Equity, Eastwood, Equid, and then you place the CSS, but it's a paid feature. So it's on the $30 plan. And you can place your CSS and it'll take over your CSS. No one will even know that you're not native. And it's not like really running. No one would know.
Wow. So I could brand it the way I wanted to and everything.
You could totally design every aspect, every button, every color, every outline. And the best part is so low maintenance. It's like someone buys it, you go to the website, you approve the order. That's it. You don't got to worry about management. You don't got to worry about customers. You don't got to worry about payment. You don't got to worry about refunds. You don't got to worry about shipping costs, taxes, nothing. It's all handled between Stripe, your one page, and Eastwood.
All I got to do is box it up.
That's it.
Nice.
Oh, wow. It's executing on these ideas. It's pretty cool. So I hope this sets like a precedence and a standard and a tone for what we're going to be doing. Do you guys have any questions of what we're doing in season 9? Or you guys get it so far? Because this is a great class for beginners. So if you're a beginner, this is the one season you want to peel your eyes open and sit your butt down. Because this one you can actually follow. And I always tell you when it's going to be intermediate, difficult, or easy before we begin. And this one is easy. I would categorize as easy, beginner friendly. And what you will need are a few things. First, you need to go to Innovators Think Tank website. You need to apply to this course. You need to get accepted, which obviously Cash Money Kev will do. He's like waiting right now with the mouse. He's ready. And when you get there, that's where you're going to get access to a mailing list where you can get reminded of classes, Slack, which will only be on the Innovators Think Tank. We can't put this link live. So if you need access to Slack, you need to go there. Also, we're going to be putting all the links to resources and things that we discuss over there. Whereas in Slack, we're leaving that area open for sharing of files, communication, support throughout the season. Now, keep in mind, we have a lot of people that always ask for help and support. So just be mindful that it's not instant when you're requesting help. During the season, we are happy to hop on calls with you, and we might batch a few of you together. So if like Rutro's like, I need help with this, and Magna's like, I need help with the same exact thing, and then Lucia's like, I need help with the same thing, we're going to meet you guys together rather than 3 separate times. Does that make sense? So if you need help, it's the best thing to do is reach out in the Slack in the season channel. If you're not in the season 9 channel, go there now, hit browse channels, and put yourself in season 9. Or else you're not going to see any of the cool stuff that we do. And when you go to Innovators Think Tank, it looks like this. And the first thing you're going to see is a place to apply. And so you have to apply or the information is hidden, unfortunately. So make sure you do that now-ish, like this week, the first week. Because if you're missing information and we put like any of the links that we have that we can't put public and you don't get them, you're going to be missing vital information. Now, we are going to be using cPanel. If you have a cPanel already that is your cPanel, you are good to go. If you need a cPanel, you or a website or hosting, you have a few options. You have, and full disclosure, we're not giving out cPanels. And here's the reason. Anything you build right now can absolutely not be taken away. And so when we delete everyone's files at the end, we don't want to do that. So if you have your own, if you're paying for a cPanel and you have it, use it. This is your moment. Use it now. Port your domain over by reaching out to our host, Cash Money Kev or myself. And if he gets any information via DM or Slack about domains, he'll let us know. But basically, you can bring your domain if you already have a cPanel. And if you don't currently pay for a cPanel, right, we are going to open it up again where you could purchase your cPanel. But when that happens, there's going to be a few changes because, as you know, this is America and costs are rising. Everyone pretty much changed their prices. So going forward, cPanel access will be $40 a month, not $30. If you already have it, guess what? Still $30 forever. So you're good to go. And if you don't have cPanel, huh?
I was saying woot woot because I need to start I need to start pimping out my backpack.
Well, there you go. And if you need a cPanel today, you have some options. So you could upgrade to AI Mastery. We're going to have it open today and tomorrow and the beginning of next Wednesday. And then we're not going to have it open anymore because like at that point, you should already have something hosted and somewhere. Your options are as follows. There is various places to host. My top favorites are for Next.js, Railway, and Vercel. So we're going to do one version of this that's like cPanel. We're going to do another version that's like Vercel. And then we're going to do another version that uses everything together. So both hostings and Railway, because we're going to make it a little more fun. But basically, you can use cPanel at DigitalOcean. So you can actually go to DigitalOcean and you could do what AI John did. Kudos to him. You can get yourself $200 right now, tonight, and you could use it. After a month or two, that will go away and you will have to pay for your cPanel access and your hosting. But it's normal. That's life. Or you can preemptively like save yourself and purchase it through AI Mastery. That's always an option for the first 2 weeks of class, because by the third week, you shouldn't be setting up like your hosting. You should already be there. So if you have hosting, you're perfect. If you already have cPanel through AI Mastery, you're stellar. You're good to go. No changes to you at all. No pricing changes. In fact, you're getting more space and a better server because we're upgrading it. So actually, you're staying the same on cost, but getting more on value. And if you do want cPanel, like tonight is when you would want to let me know, or just go to AI Mastery. One of our fun people here will put AI Mastery somewhere in the Jumbotron. Can you guys do that, one of you?
I'll take care of it.
So thank you.
You're so fast. You know where to find it faster,
basically,
Sharon.
what that is not just hosting. So quick 2-minute segue about AI Mastery. One, there's a lot of these codes that people buy. We talked about it today. So a lot of these softwares that people purchase on various platforms, we've done a lot of the work for you. We've spent $10,000 over the last few years in code. We've spent probably $25,000 for what's going to be season 10. And that's something we did a few years ago. And I'm not telling you nothing. But just know, you'll need a good computer this time. So you might want to locate in the next 6 to 8 weeks a laptop or computer with minimally a 3060 GPU. So that gives you a few weeks to get that. But we've purchased a lot of stuff. So when you're in AI Mastery, if you join the paid tier, we actually give all the purchase stuff to you. So there's over $10,000 of stuff right now just in the Google Drive in AI Mastery. And a lot of the things that we build or prototypes for AI Tutor and Pixio, we also put there. The main thing that's crazy is the latest code with the AI having a conversation in real time that me and Sharon built for 11 hours because we're psychotic, but awesome. That is commercially viable code and it costs $300. And it's in there right now. So if you're in AI Mastery, it's not just a cPanel. It's not just your own VPS. It's also all the assets, resources, and code that we've purchased over the years. So if you are in AI Mastery, you're going to be in a really nice situation right now because a lot of the things that we have there are totally suitable for these micro SaaS because they're already built codes. And they come with like 10-hour YouTube tutorials, which is sick. So what you will need for next week is access to your cPanel if you have one. And so that gives us a few days to make sure everyone that purchased it and has access and knows how to get in. And then you're going to be using that to build on top of. Does that make sense? We're going to host our files there that we create. Our landing pages that are our SaaSes, micro SaaSes, not full SaaSes. Because full SaaSes later when we grow up. We're babies right now. We're going to make micro service pages and we're going to make money based on selling those microservices on a website page. And it won't be complicated and it won't be crazy and it'll be easy and you could put it in your bio and you could start generating revenue right away.
Ross, jumping in real quick. For those of you that are new and have not participated in any seasons before this, you are going to need a Stripe account. So you want to make sure you have that also. You got to have a way to make money and take money. So
yeah, you
having
will
that
need
done
a Stripe
too.
account. Yeah. And you will have to get verified to where you're in the green. Because if you're building with test keys, what are you doing? Hello. Get it to be green. Sign up, give them your address. It's okay. Don't worry. They're not coming after you. And give them whatever they want and get it to be active. Because active is what we need for you to make money, unfortunately.
Can I ask you, so what do we have so what should we have prepared for next week? And then how long is this season? 6 weeks?
This season is 6 weeks. And if we ever need to extend it, we'll let you know beforehand. Like before the last week. But I'm trying not to extend it because my idea for season 10 is so out of this world that it's going to have to be extended, or else you guys will lose your minds.
Okay,
And
and
it's
what was
so
that with the
crazy.
3060? I mean, what if people, they can't do it then, right? If they don't have GPU, what are they going to do? They can't?
If they don't have a computer with like a $300 GPU, yeah, they can't. No, actually they can. It'll just be slow.
Okay.
But they can, yeah. But it's going to be such a departure from what we've been doing that you guys, it's like going to be starting from zero again. So, and it's by request. So season 10 is at request by many of you. So when we reveal it, you'll understand. But for this, you'll just need your cPanel access. So between now, tomorrow, and next week, that's your grace period. You want to have a domain connected to a hosting, and that has to be able to upload files and stuff. It has to be your typical LAMP stack. We can't really do local because it won't work. Like webhooks won't work, things won't work. So there's a few ways you can do this. You can do, of course, your standard like cPanel and DigitalOcean combination with the marketplace. That is probably the easiest one, but it comes with a cPanel and that has a cost, and that's $30 a month or 40, just the cPanel, not the hosting. Then the hosting separate. And you can choose whatever droplet you want. And then there's like other things like Netlify that we can't use because no file structure. The only other thing you can do is we're going to discuss next week, not now. In DigitalOcean, there's a way to spin up like cPanel variants a little bit. I forget their names. If Alisher was speaker, he would tell you them, but I forget their names. But they're like less good cPanels, but free. So that's an option, not the best option, but an option. It won't have all the bells and whistles, but it will have the basics. But again, you're still paying for hosting. So that's what you need to get situated between now and next week is hosting connected to a domain with a file system that you can upload stuff to. And if you already have cPanel through AI Mastery, you're good. It's already set up. You don't even got to do anything. All you need to do is work with your favorite AI and nail down the idea for your micro SaaS. Remember, you can't log in unless you're using Equity. That's the only caveat. So you see how that works, Jack? It's like a caveat there. The rules are no auth, no database, but that rule gets broken if you use Equity. But in a good way. Wow, I'm just calling them all their names tonight. It's funny. So that is what you need. You need to have your idea. You could work with Machine. You could work with AI Tutor. You could work directly with Claude if you have that, or ChatGPT. Like, it doesn't matter. But the benefit of using the machine is we have a public agent called the domain, not domain. This is Sarah's. Oh, Sarah. It worked. It built it.
I've been watching it.
Um,
I'm gonna play with it tomorrow morning though, because I don't want, you're on a roll. So we'll do it in the morning.
No, you're good. You're good. So if you guys look here, the microservice analyzer is public. So you guys will be able to see it. If you would like to talk with the microservice analyzer, the way he works is you basically tell him what you want to sell, and then he tell you how to do it in microservice. So the idea is like you just supply the general idea, and then it's going to figure out what's the best way to put this in a microservice given the constraints. And databases are allowed, but auth isn't, because database might just be storing stuff for your app. But what we don't want is to build like a whole thing. So we don't want like Google sign in. We don't want like multiple pages. We don't want like an analytics page and an admin panel. We don't want any of that. We are lean. We are saving money and bootstrapping. Stripe is going to be our CRM. It's going to be how we deal with payments, how we manage our customers, how we ban people, how we unban people. It's also going to manage all security information and payment, so we don't have to worry about this. And we are going to utilize cPanel as our infrastructure, where it's like we control the files, and then we're just going to put like one file, and that goes to the other thing. Your app has a maximum file count, right, of 25 files. So if it's more than 25 files, it's not. It should be less. It should be like 15 files. Yeah, we'll do that. 15 files. If it's more than 15 files, not including images, code files, it's a bigger project. So stay in the constraints, people. Images don't count, videos, media, none of that counts. Only .html, .css counts, .javascript. We want to build tiny apps, tiny baby apps. Does that make sense? We are not going to bite off more than we can chew. Like everyone, just say, I swear I am not going to go crazy in season 9 and try to build a whole entire castle.
We just need a drawbridge. That's it, guys. Just a drawbridge.
And if you can do this, you will have both mastered creating a microservice, also constraining your development to the proper scope. So that if somebody were to hire you to build something, you do understand constraints, scope, and cost. So it's like dual lesson here. Learn how to be a better engineer and make some money. So who's ready to embark on this crazy journey? Obviously, we're not going to do it today. We're going to do it next week. But like, what do you think of season 9? Any questions?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. I have I'll go on your side. It's all good. I'm going to put pin up the machine up in the nest. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sharon also pinned AI Mastery. This is where you can go and sign up. It is a completely free community. It does have a paid option. However, you're not paying us. You're paying AI Mastery, which then takes that funds and sends it to cPanel and DigitalOcean for a very special rate. So you're getting basically at the end of the day like a cPanel that's free and very, very reduced hosting, because the hosting that's running for AI Mastery is like between 8 and 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot, and huge storage servers. And uptime is 100% always, and you get customer support inside AI Mastery. And so all of this is included if you choose the upgrade path. If you don't, the community is still free, and you can still join in on the fun, and we have live streams and do some stuff there. But the support hosting and the files, that's the paid option. So if you do take that option, you will be able to get a cPanel, and you'll be able to host as many websites as you want. You'll get access to our insanely huge infra and speed. You get access to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of premium WordPress plugins that were purchased with real American dollars. So they're really have value, right? We didn't buy them with credits. There's real credit cards. And you will also have access to all the code outside of that. That includes Next.js. That includes AI apps fully done for you, ready to go. Some of them never made the cut for AI Tutor or Pixio because it was either too expensive or it didn't do what I wanted it to do. But guess what? We have it there, and you could use them. They are commercial and are at value, so you cannot put them on GitHub in public, or you'll probably get in trouble by their creator themselves. They probably monitor that. But it is commercially viable as long as you're in a private repo, and you could use any of these products and make money immediately. Like they are instant SaaSes. So much so that we tried one during the last ITT, the one where you can talk with the voice. You guys remember that? That's a fully complete SaaS, but built, ready to go. Sharon was able to deploy it after our 11-hour session in 15 minutes. Remember, Sharon?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just made a change on WordPress. I'm sorry, I'm doing 10 things at once, but yes, I'm so happy and I'm going to launch it tomorrow.
So that's
Yes.
another benefit of being in AI Mastery is Sharon gets that code. She's able to launch it, put a price on it, and use it right away. And it's a fully fledged AI app that uses real-time voice and Whisper to keep costs down. And it lets you talk real time in a Google Meet environment, like a live stream with your favorite AI.
Yeah, State's going to launch it too.
Is he? Look at that. See,
Yeah,
that's
both
the
of us,
benefit.
yeah.
And you know
We're
what?
collaborating. We're
That's
doing this together.
awesome. Now, you know what the cross benefit of this is, Sharon? You have a part of your
Nope.
website that's like stuff I made, right? And you can actually have a portfolio of all these projects you made, like live.
I am just so happy right now that I made that change. It took me probably 2 hours to get this change on WordPress. I was probably being retarded, but I made it. I'm so happy. Code is powerful.
Code is crazy. And that's why we do Ideas to Impact. So you guys can really feel what we feel when we build things. Like, it's not about the code. It's about the impact. It's not about like the money you make. It's about how your customers experience your product. And so if you concentrate on these things, you can build some really powerful projects. Like, just think about Machine. You know, us sitting back and rethinking what it's like to have a companion worker. What would that be like? And then when we started building, the validation wasn't people signing up and paying. You know what it was, guys? Fun fact. It was every other company around me that's like billion-dollar companies literally rolling out features that Machine's been doing for like a month already, 2 months. That's the validation that keeps me building on the Machine and building new features like what's coming that's going to catastrophically blow your mind in 9.2. And happy to say we are slowly rolling out. But if you want to know if you've been rolled to, you can go to, if you have the Machine Beta 5 link, if you go there, that might be version 9.2 for you. You'll know if you see workflows. And if you
I see workflows.
Yeah. So if you see workflows and credentials, you're using the latest version of the Machine, which was fresh off the press yesterday. And then if you want access, all you got to do is ask me or Alisher or Nick or someone from TSI for the link, and we can give you the beta link. It should be rolling out to everyone by Friday. So hopefully by tomorrow, but we'll see. And it hasn't hit everyone yet. So if you're waiting for like Machine to upgrade or like having some account issue, just give it a little bit. It's making its way. Like there's hundreds of people it has to get to. But yeah, it's I'm really excited for this season because this season is not going to be let's build something like a template or let's learn. It's going to be let's build something that could help make me money this week. And that's really powerful, I think. And I knew a long time ago when I first did this, I remember I was like, so my Stripe account is about 16 years old, which is nuts. But I learned that you can just kind of do things when I like 15 years ago. So when I opened up Stripe, I remember my friend needed help like setting up a custom computer. And so this was like way back when I was like making like gaming computers for like myself. I was really good at it. I helped him build it, but I told him he had to like go to this website that I gave him, which is now you all know is called Stripe Payment Links. But back then it was just called Stripe Links. And when you go there, he would have to pay. And he paid $180, and then I drove to his house. And I helped him set it up, and then I drove back. And I was like, wait, this is kind of cool. So then I put up a website, and I started like putting random services that I do. And I was like telling my friends, like, go buy it if you want it, and I'll come help you. Do you need homework help? I got you. Just here's the Stripe link.
This is hilarious,
It-
Ross.
it-
What you
it-
did already 30 years ago, we're doing now, and it's still
You're
so
doing what I
oh
did
my
15 years ago right now.
laughing my butt off. This is hilarious. We talked about this. I remember where I was telling my story, and you're like, okay, Sharon, I did all of that back in the day. And I'm like, I can't believe it. It's still relevant. See?
So relevant. And not only relevant, it's like, I don't know. Like I was doing this when it wasn't cool to be like an engineer. It wasn't like the flavor of the month. But now it's turning out to be like the flavor of the future. It's like there has to be like a new acronym. It's not like going away and it's not like a flavor of the month like other technologies. It's like this like AI is going to propel us in such crazy ways, and if you can start taking old methods and mix them with the new methods, you can do some serious stuff right now. Like you're in what I would say, like when I did this 15 years ago, it was like not in style to like be coding, building apps, learning technology, right? It was more in style to like get a good job or like go to college or do these other things, you know, like work for other people's dreams. But then there was this like small percentage where like I fell into where like I didn't get a job. And at 18, I opened my first Inc. like incorporation and moved out of my parents' house, right? Like all in like 1 week. It was pretty crazy and like insane. And my mom thought I might need a therapist because very drastic moves is like just like a flag, you know? But it really wasn't. It was actually a great thing that I did because I started my first company right there. And then I started doing like WordPress websites 15 years ago. Insane, right? And so,
Ross, what you just said is really important. It's it's burning the boats. For those of you that don't know that term, when you burn the boats, there's no going back. And that's what this moment is for. You guys, I wanted to I've been marinating on this. You know, one, watching Ross build out something so cool that is so needed in my world because I'm hectic, you know, and he just instantly builds it because he's serving a need. But the idea to burn the boats, we have people in this group right now, in this classroom, that are homeless, that are suffering from food insecurity. There are people that are just looking up at the stars at night and saying, please, I need a win. And we hear them all the time. You know, part of the reason why we're here is because we care about you and we want to see you succeed. And sometimes you don't have 6 months to get something going. You just need $30 to put in the gas tank. And one of the things that Ross has been thinking about with Nick and Alisher, we have lots of discussions. Sharon has burned the boats. Sharon says, I'm all in. And, you know, she closed one door and is now all in. When she's doing these 12, 13 hours coding sessions, you have to know behind the scenes, because she'll never tell you, she's burned the boats. There's no return. For those of you that are standing up and being a big target, nothing is going to focus you like facing the firing squad in 6 weeks. This is totally doable. This is something that a lot of you have been asking for because we have gotten very technical and lots of tears have been shed. And this is one of those things that what you put in is what you're going to get out. And you have the opportunity to have a win. And not only that, you've got some strong partners. There's a reason Ross brought in Martin when we started the space. You have to know you have some very powerful people that believe in you. They believe in your crazy amazing. They believe in your crazy ideas. And just like Ross, when his mom is like literally ringing up the therapist or thinking that her kid's on drugs or whatever because he's just decided to go off and do. This is the moment. You have some people that really believe in you, and you're never going to have this coalition of perfect storm of tools and ideas and people and opportunity, because you know what? AI is moving so freaking fast. You can't keep up, but you have this window of opportunity, this first mover advantage. The machine is so freaking powerful. And there are a lot of people chomping at their heels to have something similar, and they're going to charge them through the nose. If you are in AI mastery right now, those snippets of code that we did and used in the second season are no longer available. And you will have to pay huge amounts of money to some person that did it to get access. If you forked the codes that Ross, Nick, and Alisher told you to do in season 1, 2, and 3, you have some powerful tools that are instantly monetizable at your fingertips. And if you don't use them, you are leaving money on the table. And from here on out, too, the people in this room, this is a hard thing for entrepreneurs, but you own it. You have no excuses now. None. By the end of the 6 weeks, you will have a viable product that is bringing money in. It might not be all the money you need, but it will be something. And you have no excuses at that point. You have no excuses not to be educated, no excuses not to get off your duff and doing it and making the thing. We're burning the boats this season. Next season, it's my goal for each and every one of you. If you don't have the computer and the compute that you need for next season, then we have 6 weeks to make sure that you have $3,000 or $4,000 in the bank account to buy it, because it's that important that you have these skills and that you have these tools and that you move forward. Because a lot of you folks, you know, you've come and you've gotten some incredible skills. Now you got to put them to use. You know, life is not a Pinterest board where we can just kind of create this idea and this ideal, and stick it and claim it. No, you got to build it now. And that's the thing. You can't collect all the digital flack. So, you know, when Ross is telling you this, there's a reason. He believes in you. I believe in you. Cash Money Kev believes in you. We show up every week because we love being around people that are creating cool things, not because they have to, but because they can. The icing on the cake for this season will be some money in your Stripe account that somebody's going to go cha-ching. Because if you're crazy enough to build it, someone's crazy enough to buy it. That validation of that first sale says you're on the right track. And once you have that sale in your pocket, it means you know and have the skills to repeat it. Even if it only makes one sale, guess what? You can make 50 websites and they are all making the $10 one sale. That's significant. That pays your way for the next, you know, little bit and the software that you need to have in your pocket. So, with that, I just want to make one last announcement, and then Ross and Cash Money Kev will be closing us out soon. We're meeting in about 13 hours. Give or take. That's what we do at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to meet same time, same place here for Thursday morning. It will only be about an hour and a half. So, you know, tonight, if you didn't come up and speak and talk about your idea, you will do that on Thursday. You will do that tomorrow morning, and you will have a plan of action. And then each one of you next week, we hit the ground running. You have homework. You have to have your Stripe account. You have to have all your little duckies in a row. You have to have your idea kind of solidified in your head, maybe written out on a piece of paper. If you don't have the necessary accounts open, whether it's for sale, whether it's whatever we need, okay, you need to have it, and you need to have your domain set up. You need a place for this idea of yours to live. So those are your kind of things that at least I heard. I know that Ross will add some extra stuff to the mix, but we're not telling you have to do your homework. But if you don't, you're not really burning the boats. Your first major act of rebellion is to light the campfire, right? That's it, guys. So I hope that each and every one of you are going away tonight on fire, that you are just knowing that you have this idea and that you're going to run with it, and that, you know, you have that courage. You're going to burn the boats. And so that's all I have to say today. That's the quote of the day. Ross, take it away, and Cash Money Kev, when the time is right, you know what to do.
Yeah, so one thing that I want to say is tomorrow, one thing that we will be focusing on is anyone that currently has AI mastery, and wants to get in their cPanel, and anyone that wants to be in AI Mastery and get all the cool free stuff and join. So tomorrow, if you want to join and get yourself set up on the cPanel, that will persist after the season. So like when the season ends, you still get to keep the server and build as many websites as you want. So if you want to do that, make sure you purchase AI Mastery tonight or tomorrow, at least before you meet Alisher in Spaces, because he won't be able to activate you unless you're already purchased it. So that's really important if you don't have hosting at all. And if you do, making sure you can get in is the thing you want to do tonight and in the morning, because you're going to be building there. And what the way tomorrow in my head is going to play out is minus Martin, because no Martin. If you have your idea that you want to get validated, I'm sure there'll be a few minutes for that. Making sure people who have cPanel can get into cPanel. And if you don't have it and you buy it, that you can get into it. That's pretty much tomorrow, because we didn't actually build anything yet. I mean, we did. I built 2 apps today in Machine, which I will be putting all my code for you guys in Slack. So if you would like to take the code that we built today, just now, the thing that sends your GitHubs for money. So like they pay, they put in their GitHub, and then they get invited after they pay. So if you want that and you want to build on top of that, that code is going to be available later tonight. And all the other code, every other code is available in AI Mastery. So you go to AI Mastery, you join, and then all the codes in the private Google Drive. The other thing we'll be doing is making sure anyone who does not have access to Google Drive does have access starting like tonight, tomorrow. So we're going to like tie up those loose ends. But yeah, we're really super excited for this season, because this season is going to be super beginner friendly. And most of you probably mid-season could probably get your first sale. And we're even going to go into how to do that, how to do like low budget, zero budge marketing. Like we're going to do it like I did it 15 years ago with $20 in my account. It's going to be fun. So yeah, that's my full entire spiel for the first day. Hope you guys had fun. And it's only going to get crazier from here. Let the shenanigans begin.
I love it, Ross. I love it. Let the shenanigans begin, indeed. I guess my last little notes, guys, for the night. Well done to everybody for sticking it out. And I'm going to just say one last time: be sure to be on the ITT website, all signed up for season 9's course. It is the first post up in the Jumbotron. If you never got that, or if you were late, didn't catch the memo, it's right there for you. Also, thank you once again for Martin from DigitalOcean for stopping by earlier. That was truly like a priceless experience for a lot of these entrepreneurs, developers, and now we have goal for the end of the season, the Hatch program. We're going to make some awesome microservices to apply for this Hatch program. So I'm very excited to see what everybody comes out with at the end of the season. Also, if you have any issues or any questions, if you come up with an idea overnight and you want to vet it before the recap phase starts tomorrow, feel free to DM me and I'll help you out there. And speaking of the recap space, it is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Be there if you need to share your idea. Be sure to do that tomorrow with me, Alisher, and Sarah. And with that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Well done for getting through week 1 and to 6 more weeks of the Ideas the Impact Season 9. And with that, I'll leave you with the famous last 3 words: peace, love, and innovate.